Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I know my mic is still trash. My birthday's on the 30th and I'm hoping to get another one that would actually work. I want to address some situations that have been running through my head. Two of those, which is what I told me to cover for today, are going to be some of Dream's situations. I don't know why I air-quoted that, but one of them is him addressing these allegations against him, and then another one which I saw on another YouTuber's videos is like this Tommy Innit versus Dream situation. I find both of these very stupid. Not because I hate Dream or Tommy, it's just because why would you ever think this in the first place? It's just very dumb. We're going to start off with the less recent. This actually happened a year ago. Dream's video, The Truth, which covers all the allegations that are made up until he made that video. If there's anybody who made allegations, he probably has seen them. Maybe he hasn't. I don't know. He says he's staying off of Twitter for a while. Again, this was made a year ago, so it's kind of sad. I'm revealing this now, but we're gonna put up the intro right now.
In this video, I'm going to be very vulnerable, open, and honest. I go into my past, I go into controversies, and I also debunk very serious lies about me, including by involving the police, legal teams, and extensive research. It will get uncomfortable. I will get into details of my life that you probably don't want to hear, and I don't particularly want to share either, but it feels necessary given the circumstances, and honesty and truth is my top priority. As you guys have probably noticed, I took a long break from YouTube, and since the face reveal, I've hardly really uploaded. And I've really focused on other things and separated myself from a lot of the stuff I was doing before. You may think that this was due to the hate from the face reveal, or for other reasons, but really there was something else that happened right after the face reveal, and it really made me step back from what I was doing and have a lot less passion. If you've been on the internet recently, you've probably heard or seen some pretty crazy stuff about me. Whether it's the voice actor of Gumball attacking me, or accusations against me regarding grooming, you've probably heard a lot of pretty crazy stuff. I thought it's extremely important for me to make this video and provide as much information as I can, and I just want to right off the bat state as clearly as I can that these allegations are not true. I plan on going to extreme detail to prove that in this video, and to all the people that are spreading lies, fabricating stories, and making false accusations for fun, or because they think it's funny.
I don't care. I've accepted I'm a horrible person.
This is not funny. This is not a joke. This is people's lives, ranging from my own, my family, my employees, to actual victims that stories won't be heard or believed in the future because of this. I understand that some things in this video are much more important than others, so I split this video up into chapters, and you can skip to and watch the parts that are most important to you. I will say that everything in this video is very relevant. I think they're all vital topics to include because they help clear up my character. So yeah, the video has chapters, and if you want to skip around, there's a pinned comment. And again, I realize that nothing in this video is as important as me talking about serious allegations, so I've made it really easy to skip ahead to whatever is most important to you. Just because there's other stuff doesn't mean anything is less important. Monetization on this video is on, but every dollar will go to a charity that's linked in the description. Otherwise, I want to start with the biggest lie I have ever told.
Already, we're starting off with a banger of an intro. Now, I don't have any hate towards Dream or like any of his friends, because honestly, I kind of forgot he existed. And I don't mean that in a rude way. It's just that some of the things that he does address in this video, I've never even heard about. Like, I haven't seen this part that we're gonna get into right here in a second, like the face leak. I've never seen that. I have seen this face reveal, but barely. I never really looked too much into his content or the stuff that he did, supposedly. But like he says, this will be a very personal video. I'll get into a lot of things that maybe some of you guys don't feel comfortable watching, so viewer discretion is advised, in my opinion. So if you don't like any of the topics like pedophilia, or anything along the lines of that, then it's best if you just don't watch this video. Otherwise, let's get into the first thing that he will talk about in this video, the face leak photo.
Face leak photo. was me. Of course, it's from when I was really young and I've lost a lot of weight since then, and it wasn't at all representative of what I look like now, but it was me. Obviously, I said many times that it wasn't, and a lot of people have and still do use that against me to say that I'm dishonest, but the reason I lied about that is because of the face reveal. I'd been planning the face reveal for years. I sacrificed so much by staying inside and avoiding cameras for so long. I mean, I had covers on all my windows, and even to go to the dentist, I left hiding in the back of a car and went to a different state. Yes, I was paranoid. I wasn't gonna let anyone take that moment away from me. Whatever I had to do to make sure that moment was suspenseful and exciting, I'm sure I would have done. And if anything, the face leak photo probably ended up creating more suspense and excitement to see if I was lying or if I actually looked like the leaked picture. Now, of course, there was a lot of personal information attached to the leaked picture, how it was found, where it was leaked from, so that definitely contributed to why I lied about it. I didn't lie because I was ugly or because I was overweight or anything like that. And every time I talked about the leaked picture, I always mentioned that I struggled with my weight in the past and that it's disheartening to see people make fun of the poor kid for that, which obviously I was the poor kid. And I think that's something I'm willing to admit now because I face revealed. I'm not risking that big moment anymore. And I also feel much more comfortable about my personal information and how I look and so on. The day the face leak was posted, I was playing a Minecraft tournament and someone called the SWAT team on me.
Dream is AFK.
I'm clear here.
I was put in handcuffs and all that.
Okay, this is something that I do want to address too. That it's not really too relevant to this video. You can see here that George is very concerned. He has like a second monitor probably. Again, I've been watching these guys in years. I've watched like 2 episodes of the Dream Recipe. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. These guys are pretty sweet. And then I just didn't watch again. So I have no like experience or no opinion on these allegations. Like, okay. George apparently has done things to someone, which would include pedophilia and inappropriate touching. I don't actually know what you call that. I'm just 16, man. Well, he does mention that people were so obsessed with his face, like showing his face, that they swatted him multiple times. And he mentions here in a second that they swatted him every single day for a while. And that is fucking crazy. How obsessed with someone do you have to be, like, that you want to see their face so bad he would swat them just to get them on camera? It's actually insane. Like, imagine what that phone call would sound like. Yeah, I really want to see this guy's face, so could you, like, send a whole SWAT team over to this address? Which I don't even know how they got the address. Later in the video, he mentions how a lot of people doxed him. Which is, again, super stupid. And I don't understand why you would even want to do that. Like, how... It just doesn't make sense. I've never been a big fan of dream stands, and people like obsessing over him and like raising him and shit. I never really understood that, but people were actually going crazy over him, and they probably still are, ever since he made that last video on the second channel about stands. He's really got some, like, I'm not gonna say his viewers are, like, stupid or insane in the membrane, but some of them do go, like, hog wild for this, or for him and his friends.
Lawn with cops with rifles pointing at me, and I was pretty much swatted from that day on almost daily, to the point where the reason Sapnap moved in with me before my face reveal was to answer the door when police showed up.
And that's another thing, I didn't even know Sapnap moved in with him or anything about that. But having someone have to move in with you into your house because you kept on getting swatted so they can answer the door and say like, yo, everything is good, nothing is happening. That's just insane. And his viewers are going hog wild for him nowadays.
Because people started camping outside
Okay,
with
why?
cameras to try and reveal my face, and I needed someone else to answer the door. When the people that were doxing me thought that they had the wrong address, my family ended up getting swatted, and my mom answered the door thinking that it was pizza for her and my little sister. They were held at gunpoint with police helicopters circling the neighborhood. People showed up at my house, people showed up at my family's house. The first time I ever got swatted, I made sure not to mention it at all. Funnily enough, I actually got interviewed by a SWAT team member while I was muted and playing Minecraft parkour with the SWAT officer right next to me. But yeah, it's just all to show that even though I was very adamant about denying the face leak, it was much more about the fact that there was so much personal information attached to the picture, and I wanted as much separation from it as possible. It had nothing to do with how I look. I'm very proud of my weight loss story, and I was never ashamed about it at all. I think that it's very encouraging to see people accomplish weight loss. I did it all naturally. I lost hundreds of pounds. You have not seen me at my heaviest, and it's one of those things that I think is very encouraging to others. I love inspiring people, so it's a story I'm sure I'll tell in the future. But in that moment, it was not the right time to tell it. I feel like right now it's still kind of uncomfortable to talk about it, but it's annoying seeing the same damn picture. So here's some other pictures of me from before I lost weight, just so there's more variety. Now moving on to one of the most talked about controversies, the cheating scandal. I'm gonna be pretty...
Okay. We're gonna sum up everything that he just mentioned in the last chapter. I haven't done as much research on this because he explains a lot and backs up a lot of his points. But basically, he's saying that he posted a picture of himself when he was a kid, and everybody was shaming him for it, calling him like slurs, like fat ass, stuff like that. And that's very heartbreaking to see that. And especially since he mentions how he struggled with weight loss in his past, and people are just shaming him for how he looked. Like, I didn't even know he looked like how he does now, because I haven't seen him in like a few years, honestly. And some of the things that he mentions is why I'm scared of making Minecraft videos, or just videos in general, because I'm afraid that someone, like, I'm scared of showing my house, and that's why I'm not gonna never do like a house tour or anything, because I'm afraid that someone out there is gonna hate me and dox me for no reason, even though I did nothing to them. And honestly makes me scared to be a YouTuber even, which is why some of the reasons why I just stayed away from a while. I'm not like active on anything. The only thing I'm active on is Discord and YouTube. And while I'm not on my computer, I'm outside like walking, and then I might naturally have to stop doing that because I'm afraid someone in my neighborhood will be like, is this what I think it is? Is this a fridge? And I was kind of hoping I don't get too popular, because I feel like someone from my neighborhood will recognize me and post my health on like Twitter or something, and I won't know about it because I'm not on Twitter. You can see a Twitter tab opened here, just because I wanted to see if anything else happened while doing the little amount of research I could have for this video. And just to clear things up, just in case anybody gets the wrong idea, I don't even know Dream personally. I never knew Dream personally. I did like him at one point. I was like, okay, this guy's actually really good at Minecraft. I'm gonna learn off him, so I used to watch all of his videos. And then I just stopped for some reason, I don't know. But now that this information is getting like leaked and stuff about him, about what's been happening to him, about him getting doxxed, and his address getting leaked, it makes me afraid of becoming popular and going to like a house party or something, because someone there I'm sure is gonna recognize me and is probably gonna, like, I don't know, find some way to get my address leaked or something. Now we're gonna move on to his speedrun cheating scandal. I've watched like one of his speedrun videos. I usually used to watch most of his manhunt videos with like his friends, but I never really watched the speedrun, so I didn't really, like, I knew that people thought that he cheated, I just didn't have a word with it because I didn't have no evidence to approve or disprove it. I didn't really think he was. I defended him mostly, but I didn't, like, leak anything online, like, guys, stop bullying him, man. He's not a cheater, he's not a hacker. But, obviously, I was just, like, 12 or something at the time, so I didn't really know him, barely. Alright, let's get into this segment.
Be concise with this one because it's been covered a million times and most of you are probably pretty sick of hearing about it, but it's still really important to talk about. It's one of the most frequent reasons people point to as to why not to trust me. I did unintentionally cheat on a speedrun that I officially submitted to the leaderboard in 2020, and the speedrun mods were completely in the right for taking it down. I was using a disallowed mod for about a week on my live streams when a new version of Minecraft came out, and I was unaware that this mod existed. When I was defending myself, I didn't know that I'd been using the mod, and it's a really complicated and lengthy explanation of how it's very reasonable that I didn't know that I had the mod, so I can't go into that here. A lot of people say that it's impossible that I wouldn't have known that I was so lucky, but those people don't realize that it was a little bit of luck over a very long period of time and not a lot of luck at once. It was actually only uncovered by a cheater themselves, who later got exposed for doing that same thing in the past.
Yes, that's right, Minecravenger, the very same person that first publicly exposed Dream for cheating in his runs, has just been caught cheating himself. And not only cheating once, but cheating multiple world records over a span of more than 2 years.
I was defending myself so confidently publicly because me and a developer had already considered and ruled out the possibility that I could have been using a mod. Carl Jops, a very well-respected YouTuber that also investigates speedruns, made a video going into all the details. It's over an hour long. If you'd like to watch it to understand how that could happen and all the supporting evidence around it, you can. He is very critical of me in it, but here's his short conclusion that backs up what I'm saying from after his thorough investigation.
In conjunction with all of the evidence I've seen, I believe the essence of what Dream was claiming in his paste bin was probably true. In my opinion, it is definitely more likely that he really didn't know his drop rates and barter rates were modified. Was it intentional? And I do believe that it probably wasn't.
He did a lot of research and interviewed a lot of people to come to that conclusion. He interviewed the mod team, me, developers, and a lot more. He even said something afterwards that applies to a lot of the situations I'm going to talk about today, so I'm going to go ahead and play that clip too.
In one breath, people will complain that Dream is a liar, and then in the next, spout made-up assumptions that couldn't be further from the truth. It seems like everyone is lying everywhere.
I'm still fully responsible for my behavior back then towards the moderators, regardless of my intentions, and I did act like a little baby and caused the majority of the problems myself, so I'm sorry. Regardless of if you believe me or if you think that I'm being dishonest, since this all happened over 3 years ago, a lot has changed since, and I've done my best to move forward and grow as a person. I did my best to make amends with mods, I apologized privately and publicly for lashing out at them, I donated over $50,000 to the speedrun community through tournaments and personal donations to over 15 different speedrunners. I voluntarily took down all my speedrun times, even ones that had nothing at all to do with the mod or the cheating scandal. I also deleted my original response video, and I haven't speedrun officially since. It's been over 3 years. Now that that's out of the way, I want to clear up some quick misinformation around it. One, it had nothing to do with my manhunt videos or any video or speedrun I have ever posted on my YouTube channel. It was specifically live streamed attempts that I did during a 1 week or so period over 3 years ago. It's a common misconception that the cheating had to do with my YouTube channel, manhunt, or any other videos I've posted. Two, I didn't hire a fake astrophysicist to defend me, which is also commonly said. Knowing nothing about math, but fully believing in my innocence at the time, given the accusation was purely based on math, I used a website for math freelancers and reached out directly to a highly qualified professor that said they'd be willing to help me. They even made one of their conditions before agreeing that no matter what their conclusion was, I had to publish their results, even if their conclusion was that I was guilty. I agreed to this.
Dream briefly explained the situation, and the expert agreed to help. The expert provided Dream with a few terms, one of them being that Dream post the results no matter the outcome.
Obviously their report ended up getting ripped to shreds, but I had no idea that would be the case. I knew absolutely nothing about math, and I fully believed in my innocence. So when a highly qualified third party was agreeing with me, it made me even more confident and bold. There was many factors as to why the report ended up being bad, partially due to the public pressure and it being rushed, partially due to them not knowing as much about Minecraft as the mod team did, but regardless, I didn't bribe or make up a fake astrophysicist, which is something people frequently say. The speedrun mod team and many other parties independently verified their credentials and the fact that they exist. I also put way more information in the description on this, just for transparency's sake, including proof about the professor, all of my emails to them, and even screenshots of messages that I never provided in the past. I think that's really important to clear up because it's used very, very frequently to say, if he will go as far as to make up a fake astrophysicist to lie, how far will he go with other lies? And I would just like to point out that even though I didn't lie, lying about a Minecraft speedrun is very different than lying about very serious allegations. The next thing I'm going to talk about is a pretty big one that you might not have heard about, but it's a pretty important one. Management.
Hi. Anyway. So, he talks about how a lot of people accused him of cheating on his Minecraft speedruns, and like I said, I know nothing about this. I just backed him up because I was little and I knew nothing about how to cheat or why someone would cheat. But honestly, he backs up a lot of the things that he says, and it makes me think that he's a great person, that he's not who everybody makes him out to be. Like how he's a cheater and a predator and he fiends on little kids. Like, yeah, it just makes me sad seeing one of my childhood YouTubers. It's like someone who always loved to dance to the DM, and then dance to the DM becoming like a predator or something, and that would just be very upsetting to a lot of people. And even though I barely knew Dream, I still wanted to back him up because I didn't think he would do anything like this. It's just like how some of the people who have quit YouTube, like MatPat, I cried whenever I saw MatPat's video, even though I barely watched him. And that goes for a lot of other YouTubers that I won't get into because I might make some other people emotional. But I do think that saying that he's cheating without any physical proof is pretty wrong. I saw a picture, I remember, of like, you know that little box that you see whenever you're loading into a Minecraft build? It's like that little box. Someone said that his speedrun started off the box filling from the bottom right, and another YouTuber's or speedrunner's speedrun opening, like creating from the middle. And people thought that meant he was cheating, even though you could literally open up like you yourself could literally open up a Minecraft world and it will be just random whenever it generates, and you go from the top left to the bottom right to the bottom left to the top right to the middle left, and it just does not make sense. Well, what's coming up is another thing that I have no word about. I have no idea that this even happened. I don't know this guy. We'll get into that right now.
Now, if you don't know who Manatreat is a content creator that I added to my server, the Dream SMP, a couple years ago. They were anonymous like me, and they had a very short career. There was a thread made about Manatreat saying that they doxed him and that he was an IRL friend of mine, had been charged with domestic violence, and that I was trying to hide it. Manatreat was removed from the SMP by me, all of his accounts were deleted, and I made a statement talking about how I don't support domestic violence, I wasn't aware of any domestic violence, and that due to how complicated the situation was, I decided to remove Manatreat from the SMP. I also strongly alluded to the fact that the doxed information was incorrect. Everything I just said was true, except for the fact that Manatreat was my childhood best friend. I came up with the name Manatreat, I made the accounts, I grew up with him, his grandparents were like my grandparents, he was like family to me. The criticism I get to this day related to this is that I intentionally housed and hid an abuser. Because Manatreat was faceless and anonymous like me, people said that it was planned deliberately in order to hide a domestic violence charge. This is not true. In late 2020, he had a lot of problems. He was struggling with homelessness, had been in multiple recent car accidents. I knew I could help him, so I did. I offered him a place to stay, I paid for his groceries and gas for a while, and eventually I came up with the idea to add him to my server. He was my childhood friend, I trusted him, and he wasn't a risk. I was anonymous, so obviously if I wanted to play games with him, his identity couldn't be known, or it would leak my identity. Whenever the thread first came out saying that Manatreat abused his girlfriend, I responded emotionally, calling people gullible, because I didn't believe that someone I had known for so long and grew up with could do anything like that. And at the time, although no one knew, he lived with me in Sapnet, so it seemed crazy that he could somehow hide it from us. I jumped the gun and reacted emotionally. Only later did I properly look into everything, and I apologize. After I confronted Manatreat in real life, he claimed that he wasn't an abuser, that he had just had an altercation with another guy, and that his ex-girlfriend got in the middle of it. He claimed that he never hit her, that he had just caught her cheating and was fighting the guy that she was cheating with, that the cops got called, and that he got arrested. This is just what he said. This altercation would have taken place around a year before he moved in with us, and I had no knowledge of it. People thought that domestic violence took place when he lived with us because my address was on a court document of his, but that was far after when he was on probation and had to tell the court where he currently lived. He also lied to us and told us that he was on probation for smoking weed in order to not have us question anything suspicious related to it. Even though he claimed to me that he wasn't abusive to anyone, I couldn't just take him for his word, and so I did started to research myself. I reached out to his ex-girlfriend and talked to her about it all. She wouldn't really say that much. She said to give Manatreed the best wishes for his future, and that his mistakes were behind her, and that she just wanted to be left alone online. I don't want to push her for information, so because of that, I didn't feel comfortable having Manatreed on the Dream SMP anymore. I didn't have full confidence that he was being honest with me because he had already lied to me, and I was also still faceless and really didn't want to have to dox myself to explain the situation. I decided the best idea would just be to remove him from the server. I had created all of the accounts, so I completely shut them down and removed his access. That meant that there was absolutely no risk that, even if he was lying, he would ever cause future harm because of me. Unfortunately, this wasn't a cut and dry situation. This was one of my childhood best friends that had always treated me with kindness and had lied to me inside that. And unfortunately, due to all of this, I have no contact with him and lost someone that was like family to me. I'll never know the exact truth behind everything. The person that I knew was kind, generous, and compassionate, and I never would have added him to the server if I thought he was anything otherwise. But what I do know is that, other than my initial crude response, I stand by my actions. I think that I navigated a really complex situation the best that I could. I got rid of any risks, supported a victim, made it clear that I didn't support domestic violence, even to the detriment of one of my oldest friendships. I completely understand people that don't know my side of this situation, assuming that this makes me a liar, and that it's obvious that I was covering up wrongdoing. I even had creators that thought this until they talked to me about it. It's not unreasonable at all, and that's why I figured I had to talk about it in this video, even if it is personal and uncomfortable. Before I jump into the most important things I'm going to address, I want to talk about something that's come up a lot due to these allegations, and something that's commonly said to give credibility to me being a bad or weird person. I'm going to play a clip from Moist Critical, who talked about the allegations pretty neutrally, to his credit. But while talking about them, he said this.
Dream's audience has always been on the younger side of things, and yet Dream constantly engages with them in very inappropriate ways, such as like posting thirst traps. He does post thirst traps, even knowing that his fans are children. So when these claims come out, I think a lot of people start to take them at face value because they're like, oh, that sounds like the Dream that I know. This sounds like something Dream might do, so it's probably true. Even though right now a lot of the evidence backing it up isn't the strongest.
Now, before I talk about this, I just want to ask that if you're watching this and you share the same opinion, try and give me the benefit of doubt. Genuinely listen to what I have to say, and discard your preconceived biases.
Alright, so Moist Critical makes a good point, and he's right to believe that, but now that this video has came out, I think that he should. He doesn't have to, of course, but I think that he should change his mind about the stuff that he said. Because here's where you will see all this disproven, and now anything that you could say about Dream, yeah, you could say like, Dream slept with my mother or something when I was like 3 years old, and I precisely remember it. And then people will be like, yeah, that's what happened, yeah, definitely. And it's just stupid. You could say anything bad about Dream and then people would believe it, because most of his audience are kids, and they would understand. Or they wouldn't understand it. They would just believe him because they either don't like Dream or they do like Dream and they would defend him. Like, and some people wouldn't change their mind about things he's done, and people would. Well, so the outcome would be that they wouldn't, and they would just think, okay, this guy said a bad word. He's probably like the worst person on earth. I can't stand him. Like, it's like once a kid hears someone say a bad word, they're not gonna trust them anymore because they think bad ones are like the deadliest sin ever. Like, if I said hell, some people will be like, whoa, you can't just say that. It's just pretty stupid, I think. But honestly, they're kids, they don't know any better, so you can't really say like, hey, you're a kid, how do you not understand that this guy is not what you think he is? And if you're a kid, it's very easy to make your mind up on things. Like saying, like, just because one person says that he sucks or he's a bad YouTuber, you would defend him and say otherwise. Like, no, this guy's one of my favorite YouTubers, you better not sit in and get in a run swatting your house. And I don't condone swatting at all. If you swat someone, you're immediately on the bad side. Like, swatting is very serious. It's got a bunch of people killed this by it's got a lot of people killed who were like popular and famous. Like, I've heard things about some guy getting swatted and then he died from it, like on stream or something. And it was awful. I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to talk about this and get my video taken down because this stuff is very serious. But I want to lighten the mood sometimes, I don't want to be a dick with the whole thing and be like, yeah, you do suck. You are an asshole. You did sleep with my mom when I was 3 years old. And I watched. It's very serious to talk about these things. And the joke about it is, I mean, you could, just not everybody would accept that, and that's fine. You don't have to be on my side. You don't have to think that Dream is a good person. He could say all this stuff, and he could still, like, not believe it. It just sometimes wouldn't be true, because he has a bunch of evidence backing it up. But we're gonna get into this next segment. Bro. Okay. We're gonna get into this next segment about him posting thirst traps. And immediately I think if they're over like the age of like 30, actually I don't know how old Dream is, I don't know. But if you're over the age of like 30, I don't think you should be using Snapchat. Snapchat's like something that you would use to have like a get together with your friends or something. It would be like, hey guys, wanna meet up at you wanna meet up at like Fazoli's or something? And then we're gonna be like, yeah. And I only used it because I wanted to talk to my friends who, like, outside of school, like, over the summer, I can talk to my friends and be like, hey, how are you doing? It's been a while, good to see you. Or, and I don't use Snapchat anymore because my phone is broken, and now I kind of feel bad that anybody who has responded to me and hasn't gotten a response yet will be a little concerned about me. I'll be like, oh, my phone, don't it's on my phone. Well, I'm totally giving Drew the benefit of the doubt here because I don't hate him. I don't hate him. I don't love him. Obviously. So I don't like judge me for anything I say on here because anything I do say I haven't probably processed because this is gonna be like an unedited video. So we're just gonna see how this goes.
Yeah, if you think someone's creepy and then they're accused of being a creep, it clearly changes how you think. So I'm going to break down multiple things that Charlie said because I respect him. I respect his opinion. I think he's a super reasonable guy and I think he's an awesome content creator. One of the things that he said is that I post creepy pictures and thirst traps.
He does post thirst traps.
That's the first thing I'm going to talk about. Uniquely, because I didn't reveal my face until last year, I can actually pretty reasonably show you every photo and video of myself that I've ever posted on the internet. So they're going to start scrolling by now in a completely random order. While you watch, it's important to note that what you post on something like Snapchat is very different than something you'd post on Instagram or Twitter. Snapchat runs ads every 5 or 6 photos and encourages you to post upwards of 100 photos or videos a day to have the most growth and make the most money. They only last 24 hours like an Instagram story, so on Snapchat you kind of just spam anything. So for me, it's silly filters, my cat, whatever food I'm eating that day, if I get a haircut. Because of that, it's much easier to take one silly photo from Snapchat out of context and make it out to be something that it's not. On top of that, there's a lot of fake accounts that I think people fall for all the time. They post thirst trap captions using my photos, and with how many likes they get, there's a lot of people that casually scroll Twitter and think their posts are mine. There's one specific one that was extremely popular and verified before it was suspended. It posted tweets like this, and this, and this. These are just completely normal photos I posted of myself with no caption, but they repost them and put a weird caption. This has fooled tons of people, including people that have made pretty big videos about me, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if Charlie saw this account a couple times and thought its tweets were mine. A lot of people also say stuff like this.
I don't know why he still uses Snapchat. It's still kind of weird. I told you, if you're a grown man using Snapchat,
which I think is super reasonable to think. If you don't know that there's creator accounts now that work very differently to normal Snapchat accounts, you can promote stuff to millions of people through Snapchat's algorithm, and even as of recently, you can make a lot of money, obviously encouraging you to post whatever random stupid photo you took. I mean, I hardly even log into my Snapchat myself, and even have someone else completely run the account, because there's a manager account feature where I can just post from my personal Snap and never even see any of the messages. I also sometimes have people say that I'm weird because of fan art account likes from my fan art account, so I just want to clarify, I'm not the one behind 99% of the likes. I've never made that public because it is beneficial for artists for people to think that it's me every time, but again, when it's being used against me to say I'm creepy, I have to clarify.
Hi, so I've ran Dream's public Snapchat since January 2022. There's nothing weird and he doesn't really even log into it. I also run his fan art account and have been since January 2022 as well. I'm good friends with Dream and the Dream team, so he thought I'd be a good picture on it. I mostly just like and retweet art. I'm banished from replying. Sometimes people will call him creepy for stupid stuff that I've liked, and I've never really taken it seriously because I just think what's being depicted in the art is funny to me, like ENF kissing art or something, because I'm their friend and it makes me laugh. It just happens to be really good art. But when it's being used to say that Dream is creepy or weird, I feel really bad because he's definitely not. There's been times that he's messaged me and told me to unlike something, or asked why I was on a DNF liking spree. And he's definitely a silly guy, but people shouldn't use me liking art that I found funny or just thought was impressive artistically against him.
I can still be more careful about what's liked on the account though, and I also can re-clarify my boundaries, which I do at the end of this video. But I will just say here that I've never supported not safe for work art of minors or from minors. I think that that's weird and gross, and I clarify my boundaries on myself later in the video, but generally it's just I don't want anything weird drawn of me. I also later have the person who used to run the account back in 2020 say something as well, but yeah, like 1 out of every 1,000 Snapchats I post, people end up spreading and making fun of, which is fine of course, but it's when it's made out to be weird that it's disingenuous. Now that's not to say that I'm posting the exact same thing as everyone else, or that what I'm posting isn't different than other people. It definitely is. I was faceless for a very long time, never took pictures of myself, and had no social media before YouTube. So you're seeing literally my first time ever taking pictures, and I am just a little goofy. Again, it's fine to make fun of, like some of these pictures are stupid, but using them as evidence that I'm weird or making them out to be weird just isn't fair. I don't really take myself seriously. I don't think I'm super attractive. I don't think I'm super funny. I think a lot of people misunderstand some of the things that I post that are satire. A lot of my videos before I did Minecraft challenges were satire videos, and I still post a lot of satire. A perfect example of this is my unface reveal. I posted a video on my channel where I unrevealed my face. It's a satire video. I have my 2 best friends burst down my door, tell me that I'm ugly and to put my mask back on, which I agree with, make a professional mask, and then go through the McDonald's drive-thru with it on, while saying that I'm never taking it off ever again. The number of people that took this seriously was in the tens of millions. People see the headline, assume that sounds like something that cringe guy would do, and then it's history. And the same thing happens with my TikToks. Like almost my entire TikTok page is sarcastic, but every now and then, someone will take a TikTok of mine completely seriously. Like, I posted a video of me with a Chad filter on and said no filter right after the face reveal. I made a TikTok where I take off the mask and use an ugly filter. Another TikTok where I make fun of the face leak photo, or many other sarcastic posts. But then I post a TikTok where I'm in a Walmart wearing my mask, and people take it so seriously. I get tons of hate, and it said how cringe it is that I would go shopping in my mask, that it's pathetic that I'm trying to hide my face after I already revealed it. Or I post a TikTok where I sing one of my songs, say no auto-tune, and then kiss the camera. And it's that I'm trying to be hot or think I'm such an amazing singer, instead of that I'm self-aware and playing into the cringe. I didn't watch that and go, ah, you are so cool. You are such an amazing singer and you're also hot. Like, it's not serious. Yes, I do post cringy stuff sometimes, and I'm not trying to say that I've never been cringy, or that you can't make fun of content that is intentionally cringy, but I've never posted anything that you could remotely say is a thirst trap, or inappropriate for my audience, because as you can see, in the context of all these other photos I've posted, it's not honest to single out one weird Snapchat out of context of the thousands I spam, and then say that I post creepy photos. But yeah, like one photo I posted was heavily spread as a thirst trap by parody accounts, and it's this. I'm supposed to be dead. It's definitely not a thirst trap, but it's not like I was sending it to somebody and being weird. I was just spamming photos on my public story.
Oh no, George not found has given him this slopperson. Oh no, oh no.
Like, yeah, it's goofy. It was not a thirst trap. I posted 1 or 2 photos with my shirt off ever, and this one's because I thought it was cool to see my hair comb back since it's always forward, and you can't even see me or my body. There's also this monstrosity that's frequently shared. Like, this is a gross photo. I look terrible. This is not a thirst trap. This is a terrible photo. This is just disgusting. I was just spamming photos, didn't think much of it, and posted it. And now it will haunt me until the end of time. I'm cringy and being serious when I make satire posts. I'm full of myself when I I post a normal photo. I'm gross when I post a bad photo. I'm weird when I post a silly photo. It's just people assuming the worst or just not knowing who I am, which I guess is fair. So yeah, that's what I have to say about the thirst traps thing. But obviously that's just photos. Now in terms of other stuff, I've definitely had my opinions morph over time, especially since I've face revealed and actually got to meet fans in person. But we can still talk about some old stuff that people frequently use to say that I'm weird. First of all, me calling my fan base kittens.
Okay. So, in some of that whole section, he basically says that he's not trying to make anybody fall in love with him. He's not loving himself. He's not, you know, he's not trying to do anything that, like, people find weird. I know that some people will be like, oh, well, like, later, or earlier in the video, he showed, like, a clip of Balarky. Balarky's pretty popular. He's one of my favorite YouTubers, and a kid could probably see Balarky, like, address that situation, and be like, okay, well, now I think Dream's a freaking weirdo. And now, Moist Critical has a very popular audience, and he addresses some serious topics, and sometimes he's funny. Sometimes, okay, that just sounds rude, but I don't mean that in a rude way. I'm saying that most of his viewers are probably very mature and, like, would think serious with the situation. So they would actually have their opinion, like, either change or not change, because they'll be, like, very serious about the situation. And people who, and if he said, like he said earlier, like, stop posting thirst traps, and he does post thirst traps, it's just saying that you can't really, people can really just believe anything that they see on the internet. Like I was saying, you could say that he freaking, it can vary on different people. Like, if someone said that Moist Critical slept with their mother, people will think that's like a funny joke, haha. He definitely did that. And even if he did, then people would still believe him. Or still wouldn't believe him, think it was just a funny little post that he made. While on the other hand, someone could say that Dream slept with my mother. And then he would get a lot of hate for it, and people would believe him. Because he has two different audiences.
This was a stupid tweet. If I could go back, never would have tweeted it. I completely understand that without knowing my intentions or what I actually meant, it could seem super weird. The whole Discord Kittens meme wasn't as big yet, and I just tweet so much, I just wasn't really thinking. It came out horribly, and I will never live this down. It is still something that my friends make fun of me for to this day. I was just trying to explain that when I say I love my audience, I don't mean in the same way that I love my friends or my family. That I mean it in the way that I love dogs, even though I don't know every dog personally. I can still say I love dogs. I should not have said kittens, but it's not what I meant. It was a stupid tweet. I've tweeted tens of thousands of times the last few years. It wasn't my brightest moment, but it also wasn't me trying to be weird or going kittens. It was just an analogy that I regret using. Another point of evidence towards the Dream is Weird narrative was me, quote unquote, selling my baby pictures. In 2022, my merch company sold a flash drive that was Dream themed. It was going to be sold empty, and then my mom and my dad, who helped run my merch company, had the idea to put some random stuff onto the drive, so it felt more unique. I thought it was a cool idea. The content on the drive wasn't what was being sold. It was the slap wristband flash drive itself. We added some drafts of books I wrote from when I was a teenager, some memes, some old Minecraft screenshots of me and my friends, some notes and emails from teachers talking about me being rebellious in middle school, and yes, 2 pictures of me from when I was a baby. The intent wasn't at all to sell pictures of me when I was a baby, which other celebrities have actually literally done. The intent was just to show a little bit of where I'm from, like you would show pictures in a biography you would sell or something. It was my version of a little biography with writing and pictures and quotes. I think there's definitely something to be said about the concept of being in possession of a file of someone else's baby picture versus it just being in a physical book, so I totally get it. But you have to recognize that that's clearly not the intention. It should be something funny or cringe to make fun of and not be a serious thing, like being about pedophilia. But yeah, I mean, as you can probably tell by the pictures going by, I have a pretty normal life. I think I'm a pretty average guy, and 99% of the things I post online are extremely normal. Despite how much I've put myself out there, there's only a few weird out of context things to show for it, and a couple goofy photos. So yeah, I think when people say that I post thirst traps or post predatory things to my audience, they're just misinformed. I don't think that Charlie is being malicious at all. It's just a lot of misinformation, and it's something I've never really made an effort to clear up. I always lean into the cringe, but when it's being used to strengthen serious allegations, that's when I kind of have to really break down how I am. But yeah, I mean, on top of all that, my audience is not as young as people think. This isn't a hill I'm gonna die on, because I know a lot of people have their minds made up or could not be convinced. Believe it or not, I have one of the oldest audiences in all of Minecraft YouTube. I started YouTube through coding and extremely complex stuff, like reverse engineering PewDiePie's Minecraft seed. My videos, even to this day, are super long, don't have that quick retention style editing or sound effects or anything that a lot of channels do, and I also have a large pro gamer audience because my videos involve a lot of technical skill. My audience outside of YouTube is younger, but the vast majority of people I get recognized by on the street are college-aged, and usually dudes being like, "What the f? It's Dream!" On Twitch, I've covered heavy topics. In this video, I'm covering heavy topics. Me and my friends all swear on every other platform, and we're definitely not kids' channels in any way. Just because I post Minecraft videos doesn't mean that my audience is just little kids. Most people that watch me either used to play Minecraft or don't even play Minecraft at all. I think Charlie's audience is, of course, much older than mine, but if I posted photos like these, which, to be clear, if I was ripped as hell like Charlie, I would, 100%, it would be made out to be predatory because it's me, when it's not at all. And that same standard isn't applied to TikTok stars, or really anyone else but me, just because I'm the Minecraft guy. A lot of the photos me and Charlie have posted are actually really similar. It's just people cherry-picking goofy photos of mine and then making them out to be weird, when it's just me posting random photos, because that's literally part of our job. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about that.
He does have another point. People think that Dream was weird because of just some of the things that he was accused of. And I guess they couldn't say the same because Charlie is just another YouTuber. He just... And Charlie's played Minecraft a few times, but just because Dreams non-stop plays Minecraft, people can't get over the fact that he might be a pedophile. And don't get me wrong, a lot of popular Minecraft YouTubers have done some terrible things, but I'm not gonna stand on their side because they haven't backed it up. They know that they have. And they're not gonna be like, no, actually, I didn't do that. What the frick are you on about? My Dream actually has like substantial evidence that you could, or that he can use to prove that he hasn't done these things. And now, I used to think that he was weird, and now I don't. What I did say about earlier about his kids being audience, I kind of agree, even though earlier I did say his whole audience was kids, but I just thought that I'm not making like an apology video. Like, what I did say could be completely true, but okay, so he didn't outright say that most of his audience on YouTube is kids. He said most of it is actually the older audiences, which I guess could make sense. I just thought that because more people think that Minecraft is a kid's game, I thought that they would think it's a kid's game, so it'd be like a kid YouTuber. And how most opinions that he could say would be completely disproven by the majority of people who defend him or the majority of people who attack him, making other people change their mind. But I don't follow him on Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. I didn't even know he had those platforms. I just thought he was just a YouTuber. So I didn't entirely know. I didn't watch his face reveal video. I haven't watched him in years, like I was saying. So everything that I could be saying could be completely wrong. Don't hold me accountable for anything I've said, but I can't say that any of these pictures or like him being weird to his fans, because I wouldn't think that he would be doing that in the first place. And on like something that Tommy Yennett did in his Dream video, he provides evidence that he didn't do any of the things that he did. Anyway, that is basically the Dream post, weird pictures in the Dream post thirst traps segments, and see what else he has to say for us.
Now to move on and talk about some really important stuff. Over the last year and a half, there's been a bunch of really serious allegations made against me. Some of them were quickly disproved, others admitted they were lying, but there's still some that I'm going to address in this video. The first allegation made against me was pretty quickly discarded. It was an allegation of flirting and had some inconsistencies. I'm still taking it seriously though and don't want to overlook anything, so I'm going to talk about it now. The first ever allegations against me that were spread pretty far were made the day after my face reveal, on October 3rd, 2022. A girl named Anastasia tweeted out, "He's only face revealing because he's scared that I'll do it first." And then she followed it up by tweeting, "I'm too tired / real life struggling to get involved, but the YouTuber trending right now already face revealed to me years ago when he was flirting with me when I was a minor." Obviously, because of my face reveal, it took off, pointing out inconsistencies, asking questions, and so on. I didn't have any inappropriate contact with this person. I didn't have any sexual contact with this person. I hardly even remember who this person is at all. And the only messages I could even find with this person were friendly Twitter DMs. And even in those Twitter DMs, I mentioned that they had 18 in their bio, which they contradict. I definitely didn't face reveal to them. That's an obvious lie. Almost nobody knew what I looked like at all before my face reveal. Not even most of my best friends that have known me my entire life, let alone someone I don't even remember talking to at all. She posted a screenshot of some texts and claimed that they were from me. She showed a screenshot of my TikTok being from your contacts to try and prove that the texts were from me, which people quickly pointed out is impossible because I have a Google Voice number hooked up to my TikTok, which isn't iMessage like the text. And again, she never claimed any sexual misconduct. She never claimed anything related to nudity or sexting. This was also in early 2020, and she had 18 in her bio. With everything and all the inconsistencies, wasn't taken that seriously. But it's still worth noting because people still somehow say this is one of 3 victims of mine. So yeah, before talking about the next allegation, I just want to address something that I think is pretty important. I see some people say, why respond to fans at all? Or that it doesn't matter what Dream said. The fact that he responded to a fan is creepy. And people saying that are missing a little bit of nuance. First of all, back when I started YouTube in 2019, obviously I had a very small community. Even moving into mid-2020, before the Dream SMP. It's very common that when you have a smaller community, you're trying to grow your community. And part of how you do that is by interacting with people and responding and being active. I've always been pretty active in my community, and when I was really small, I used to respond to just about literally everyone that DM'd me, even if it was just one-word answers. Obviously later on, and as I grew, I replied less and less, and things evolved over time with my fan base growth. Like, as an example, when I started my public Snapchat in 2019, I ran the account, but in early 2020, because I was growing, I completely passed the reins off to someone else, and pretty much never logged into it ever again.
Hi, I would like to remain anonymous, so I'm just going to be calling myself Rebecca. I used to run Dream Snapchat starting in 2020. I did that for probably around a year, and I would like read through all the messages, and I'd screenshot art or funny comments, and I would respond when it was appropriate. There is definitely nothing weird going on this account. Dream hardly even logged into it, and it was mainly me. He never used it inappropriately, and although I no longer work for Dream, I am not aware of him ever acting inappropriate with fans or anyone underage.
Most, if not all, of the Snapchats I've posted since then have been through the manager account feature, meaning I use my normal Snapchat and post to my other account like a story, without even ever logging in or seeing any messages. I think that when people talk about messaging or becoming friends with a fan, most people are thinking of a stan or a super obsessive fan, because what makes you a fan? Having watched 1 video, 2 videos, 10, being subscribed? There's levels to it. My point being that when you're talking about messaging someone and it being weird, there has to be a weird dynamic. Obviously a streamer that's subscribed to me and has watched my videos in the past and DMs me should not be looked at the same as a random person that does the exact same thing. I've had fans of mine turn into friends of mine, but I don't go seeking out friendships with people who have obsessions with me. There's a difference between a fan of mine who reacts to my videos because they're entertaining and makes some content about me because that's what gets views that I end up becoming friends with, than a random stan that posts thirst edits of me. Obviously a massive difference. There's a difference between a random stan in your Twitch chat that watches every stream because they love you, and a regular viewer that's in your community because they have common interests with you that you end up becoming friends with. And at that point, they're no longer a fan. They're a friend. And in some cases, becoming some of the most beloved couples on the internet. My point is that there's a lot of nuance. I think it's a responsibility of a creator to be able to recognize dynamics, avoid any weird ones. You can't just look at the fact that somebody follows you or has watched a couple of your videos and write them off as, oh, they're a fan. Therefore, we can have no conversation. I was also fans of a lot of my friends before I became friends with them. A lot of people that I ended up hiring as editors or artists or really anything are fans. And then, of course, you can become friends. Again, the whole point is that there's a lot of specifics to it. You can't just write somebody off completely. But again, that's fans. That's not stans. stands. Otherwise, moving back to the next very important thing. Now, the second allegation is what I'm going to talk about in extreme detail. The second allegation came out soon after the first and said that the first allegation was why they were sharing their story. It was from a girl that claimed that when she was 17, we inappropriately messaged. This did not happen. Let's get into the details. On September 23rd, 2020, Amanda messaged me from her personal Instagram account, sending a message that was...
Okay, so I'll barely dig into the situation because I don't want this video to be like hours long. It's already probably 30 minutes long. I don't feel like checking, so. But basically for like these next two sections, this is like the longest from the video, but it gets into some of the people who are obsessed with them. Like here we have Amanda, who seems to hide their identity, or seems to try to hide their identity, that they're like a Dream stan. We'll get into that in a second. But some of the things here that will be said are a little confusing to me, so I probably won't cover them as much, but Dream makes a bigger statement. Regarding the last segment, he mentions how he doesn't have problems with people becoming fans or stands with him. He just doesn't want it to be too serious, and he doesn't want anybody to think that, let's say Dream watched this video, I'm not going to think that he's obsessed with me or in love with me. Like, if you wanted to be a friend, or think, if you wanted to, okay, if you thought my content was funny, that's cool. I'll be like, hey, thanks, man, means a lot. And that's how I respond to any other comment that would say that they thought I was funny. I want to be like, oh my god, Dream responds to my video, oh. I would start like screaming at the top of my lungs or something, like someone else would. And another reason I had Twitter open in my tab, as you can see right here, is because I wanted to get permission to make a video about this, but I couldn't find out how to message him. Like I said, I've only been on Twitter a few times, so I never publicly stated that, but as I was saying, I don't get on anything else except for using the Discord that much. Like, sure, I'll go onto, like, Twitter just in case someone says something, or, like, post a video, I'm like, that's cool. And then I'll just forget about it. Or, I only use Instagram, like, once, because my friend said that they stopped using Discord. I was like, okay, well, I still want to be able to contact you, so I'll get on Instagram. They eventually stopped using Instagram, so I did too. And with TikTok, I never usually got on TikTok, and I would only get on it if someone would send me or like one of my friends would send me a TikTok. I'd be like, okay, I'll watch it. I wouldn't really send them any though, because like I said, I wasn't usually on the platform. And goes for a lot of things that or like a lot of social medias, like Facebook, I don't use Facebook at all. Or I did, and I just stopped using it because I was getting bored of it. I never need it anymore. We only used it once, so we could find a cat that we wanted, and then eventually we had to get rid of that cat because I was allergic. And that was one of the saddest moments for me because I loved that cat. That was my favorite person in the whole world. My favorite animal in the whole world. But all good things have to come to an end out there. But I don't want to get too sidetracked here. We still got 2 more videos to react to, and we will eventually. Now let's get a little bit through this Amanda section because I don't want to get too involved. Actually, that doesn't really make sense, but let's just get into it.
clearly a fan message. She thanked me for saving her life, and I replied to this message. In September of 2020, I was a lot smaller than I am now, so I got a lot less DMs, and I was much more active in like the fan communities and replying to people. And all I replied was, "Oh, thank you for the kind words." And then I also replied, "Glad to make you smile," after she followed up with the message. I put a transcript of every Instagram message that I've ever sent her, linked in the description. It might not be every message that she sent me, because there's proof that she deleted Instagram messages to me. An old TikTok of hers has messages from me that wasn't in her post with the accusations when she showed our messages, but my transcript tried to include those and piece it together. But again, it might not be all of them because I don't know what she deleted. I only know what she deleted from the thing she accidentally showed in her old TikTok of the deleted messages. Amanda, on the other hand, how are you doing, Dream? September 25th. The next day I replied, "I'm good, thank you. How are you?" Amanda, the same day, replied, "I'm doing okay. Could be better, could be worse. Thank you for asking."
Okay. He has a whole timeline of events that happened, and this goes on for pretty long. As you can see, you got the little bar there, just like the long section of the video. And I don't want this video to be insanely long. Like my last one was like 50 minutes almost. I'll just be playing one game for like almost 40 minutes. Maybe it was 40 minutes. But most of these things happen, and then it will send something, then Jim responds a few days, weeks, or months later, because he wasn't that big then. So if anything, he would reply to comments, but sometimes he doesn't always have to, you know. Like on my own Discord account, I was actually able to message Bad Boy Halo, and now I never knew if he would respond because I lost that account. It was one of my faves back then. But Amanda will go a little hog wild here. She mentions how, or like any advice that Dream could give her, and he says maybe play the band. And she's like, "Alright, thanks for the advice." Right? And then not too long after, she says that she's something about her like flunking or something in her channel or something. Like she's the person has no friends or something. And he tells him that. I'm not really sure why. You should probably tell a therapist about that. Like, hey, dude, I'm knowing me, I've been really upset lately, I've been down. And we're like, not to do with me. He wouldn't actually say that, he doesn't actually say that. I just make it up like a random occurrence, like a hypothetical. But here, I'll find out where she says that.
Need more fan messages, and she had DM'd me many times talking.
Yeah, here you go. Here's. Okay, so she says, "In Dream, I need some advice. I'm trying to become a small streamer on Twitch, but not a single person joins my streams. How do I get an audience?" And I think he replies to this comment, but she also says on November 30th, 2020, says, "Hi Dream, I want to actually become a streamer like you and your friends. I'm just so, it's not just me, is it, like, grammatically wrong. I'm just so you educated on what supplies I need. Can you recommend me all the products I need to successfully stream like a computer, cam, mic, headset, etc. You have no idea how I appreciate
about content creation and streaming, some of which she deleted. She seemed very normal, friendly, and implied strongly that she was overage. What I thought about her age doesn't matter that much because nothing inappropriate happened, but it does matter to show my mindset because I don't go around befriending underage girls or people that are obsessed with me or my content. To the best of my knowledge, she was neither. Continuing with the transcript, now we get to the very end, which was our first real conversation. This one was about music, which makes sense. It's something I'm really passionate about. At the time, I was working on a song called Trust Issues and some other random music projects, and in the middle of us talking about music, I gave her my Snapchat. I said, on Snapchat, and she said, sure thing, it's just attitude. I was sharing music snippets with a bunch of people at the time, and as we were talking about music, I wanted to share them with her. And I'm obviously not going to send snippets of a new song over Instagram. Now, I've pretty much always used Snapchat as one of my main forms of communication. It was actually the first social media I ever got because a friend of mine wanted to start a streak with me, and it's something I started using a lot more when I became faceless on YouTube, because yeah, stuff is deleted. You don't have to stress over people analyzing or leaking everything you say. And for me, even for something as simple as a picture of my cat, people used to zoom into my cat's eyes to look at the reflection to try and dox me. This was not uncommon at all. So of course I felt much more comfortable using Snapchat during this period, especially with people that I wasn't great friends with, but even with my best friends. Now,
Yeah, no, this is actually insane. This guy had to stop posting videos or pictures of his cat because he would zoom into the eye of the cat and figure out what he looked like, what his room looked like. I can't understand how much people were obsessing over Dream. And they probably still do obsess over him, like I was mentioning. I'm honestly just flabbergasted. You know, you want to see this guy's face so much that you literally have to zoom into the cat's eyeballs just to know what his, like, structure looks like. It's actually just so insane.
in detail, Amanda claims that after I added her on Snapchat on January 17th, 2022, that we started sexting. She showed that her birthday, when she would turn 18, is on February 17th, exactly a month later. She claims that we sexted from around the 17th of
I think I skipped the part where...
And they replied, I'm doing okay, could be better. Amanda said, hi Dream, and then she sent another message that was deleted after she made the allegations. We don't know what it was your friend. I'm just so uneducated on what supplies I need. Can you recommend me all the products I need to successfully stream? Like computer, cam, mic, headset, etc.? You have no idea how I would appreciate it. December 5th, 2020. So, like a week later, I replied and said, almost everything I have was recommended by Bad Boy Halo. Haha. Amanda replied, and she sent another message that she deleted after she made the allegations. But again, we won't know what it was. December 26th, so almost a month later, Amanda sent a video. We don't know what the video was. I don't think it was opened. I don't know though. I didn't reply. January 5th, Amanda said again, hi Dream, I just want to say happy late New Year and Merry Christmas. Congratulations on everything you've accomplished this year. I hope I am fortunate enough one day to be as successful as you. If you can tell me what kind of computer you have, that'd be great. January 16th, so 11 days later, I replied, thank you. Amanda replied, deleted message, and then part of it was, how are you? But obviously I didn't reply. April 13th, so a long time later, Amanda messaged me again and said, hi. I replied, hi. Amanda said, how are you? I said, decent. How are you? She said, I'm alright. Thank you. And she said, I heard some snippets of the song you're working on, and I really like it. You have a really nice singing voice. I replied on April 14th, thank you. So that was the next day. She said, you're welcome. And then December 26th, so that was like a long time later, she messaged me and said, Merry late Christmas. I didn't reply. January 10th, she messaged me and said, hi, my Snapchat was banned and I have no friends. How are you? I replied 2 days later and said, how TF does a Snapchat get banned? Amanda replied and said, I'm pretty sure it's because I posted videos of me smoking, but all my memories from...
Okay, so this is already insane. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find where she asked for, like, advice.
I replied and said, try and play with your friends.
Yeah, try to play with your friends, maybe.
Post to Reddit and...
When she says... Whenever she says, hey, can I have, like, some advice on how to stream it, or, like, get popular? And then she says this.
You're welcome. And then December 26th, so that was like a long time later, she messaged me and said, Merry late Christmas. I didn't reply. January 10th, she messaged me and said, hi, my Snapchat was banned and I have no friends. How are you? I replied 2 days later and said,
now I feel like she's begging us to be friends with, because this is like something a younger person would say just to get friends with a popular YouTuber or a streamer or whatever. Could be like, yo, I have no friends, can I, like, be your friend? She's trying to guilt trip Dream into becoming friends with her. And he mentions later that he couldn't actually, like, block her without it being, like, rude or, like, seeming rude. Because you could close the DM, but they could still message you, so he wasn't able to do anything to them. To that expense. That's what we're looking for. But yeah, she mentions earlier, like, about the advice. He says, maybe try playing with your friends, post stuff to Reddit. Which is a good idea. Sure. Yeah. And then or then on January, whenever, she says my Snapchat was banned and I have no friends. What happened to your friends? Just because you like your Snapchat company, they're like, I can't be friends with you. No, get out. You're not my friend anymore. Get out, please. Please, please. I don't really understand what's going on there, but that's basically the whole Amanda section I wanted to talk about. He does have other proof. She does try to, like, say that he sexted her, when that isn't true at all. Like, the evidence is not there. He just has, like, this timeline. Oops. Okay.
Everything she had told me, she was 19, and we had no inappropriate contact. The context of these messages would be a 22-year-old creator calling a 19-year-old streamer gorgeous on a birthday post while giving her a gift card as a birthday present. Finally, she said that we planned to meet up and have sex in August when she was in Orlando.
It was suggested that we meet up and have sex. I was either going to have him come to the resort I was at, or he was going to pick me up and bring him to his house.
First of all, this was before my face reveal. I did not leave my house. I was massively paranoid. I was not meeting up with a random person I had just met 2 months before my face reveal.
Yeah, and his mom already mentioned that they had to, like, close all the windows. He would never go outside, and that's kind of like I am now, except I'm not paranoid. I just don't want to go outside. Okay, that sounds pretty bad. I'm just gonna continue the video.
Reveal, let alone at a resort, which is what her claim was. I'm gonna go ahead and play a phone call with my mom, just to give you some perspective from before my face reveal. How many times do you think that I left the house between 2021 and my face reveal?
Wow, I don't know, 3? Maybe 4.
What did I leave the house for whenever I left the house?
Well, I know you went to the dentist 3 times, and then I think one other time was when you had the kidney stones. So
oh yeah, you're the hospital.
I think those were the only times you left the house. And we were worried because we didn't want you to call 911 because we didn't even know if they would come because of all the fake swattings and everything. So I had...
And that is still just insane how many people would swat his house just to get a look at his face. Like, they would go crazy just seeing, like, his freaking earlobe. They'd be like, is that his earlobe? And then, like, identify, like, a whole, like, picture of him and know what he looks like just in, like, a picture of his freaking mustache or something. Like a nose hair. And it's insane. And then they also had to swat his family's house for no exact reason. It's just so stupid. And I'm not calling his fans stupid, because that's just rude. That's just plain rude. I don't have a reason to do that. I think it's just stupid that they had to swat his house and his family's house, I think his parents' house, just so they could look at his face. And it's why, man? Why?
to come get you and take you to the hospital. So it was probably 5 times that he left.
Okay, what was the process when we did leave the house? What was the process like?
Crazy. I pulled into the garage, shut the garage door. You would get in the back seat, way back of the van, with a blanket over yourself, and you wouldn't come out from under the blanket until we were on the highway.
I was a little paranoid.
A little bit.
What was the inside of the house like? What precautions did we take?
Oh my gosh, it was like a cave. Every window was covered, even the high windows that were arches. We had to like tape curtains over them so that even a drone wouldn't be able to see in. Everything was covered. Yeah, so we had the banker come to the house because you wouldn't go out of the house, but we needed to set up bank accounts. Whatever it was that needed to happen, we were the ones that did it so that you didn't have to go out.
Okay, thank you, Mom.
You're welcome. I love you.
Love you too. Bye.
The fact that he had to cover every single window just make sure a drone wouldn't like fly over their house and peer in. It's crazy. It's actually insane. How crazy would you have to be just so you could get a drone and peer through his top window? They had to take every like precaution and imaginable. Like make sure there's not a single way nobody could see his face or like him in general. But this conversation between us is pretty sweet. I do like that.
Again, as you can probably tell, what she claims definitely didn't happen. Either she's telling the truth and her story makes sense, or she's not, and it doesn't. Now, some other stuff to note. After her allegations, she deleted a lot of evidence. She unliked a lot of tweets she had liked, She deleted replies of hers on Twitter and TikTok that hurt her credibility or contradicted what she was saying. She deleted Instagram DMs to me and only got caught because she accidentally showed them in an old TikTok of hers, and that's all completely factual and documented. Later, she was bragging on TikTok, calling people doubting her jealous, saying, "I'm gorgeous and my favorite YouTuber thought so too. It's giving jealous." Not treating the serious situation that she claimed happened seriously at all. People also found old tweets of hers where she was replying very inappropriately to other streamer friends of mine. She was even banned in one of my friend's chats for saying she wanted to sit on his face. These accounts weren't linked to her Instagram, so I would have had no idea about them. She also replied to fans of mine questioning her with slurs. She also said that she was gonna lie and tell me that she was 18, but that she changed her mind, I guess.
So I was going to lie and tell him I was 18.
She said she would provide proof of the fact that she told me she was 17 and that I still sexted her tomorrow.
But I didn't, and that proof will come out tomorrow.
And guess what? She never posted proof, because this never happened. She tweeted out thanking people for all the support and claimed at the end that I deleted our DMs, right as she tweeted this. And specifically said, my end too, which means her DMs too. Well, I just want to point out
That's impossible.
that this is impossible. There's not a single mainstream social media platform that lets you delete both people's messages. And we only had each other on Instagram and Snapchat, where you can't do that on either. She claimed that she was laughing and was going to prove people wrong with pictures of my penis, to which, again, never happened. Lastly, she tweeted saying that she's getting the law involved and going to the police. Said she's going to put me in jail unless I confess. She said she would provide more evidence. She didn't. She said she would upload her Snapchat logs. She didn't. She said she would sue me. She didn't. And now I'm making this video. She provided absolutely no proof for any of her claims and said that she didn't have any because she wanted her favorite YouTuber to trust her, which could be a completely valid argument, except the pictures that she posted were from a second phone, meaning there was no risk of me knowing. She was taking pictures of compliments from a second phone, but has no evidence of anything sexual, has no evidence of us planning to meet up and have sex, apparently from after these pictures were secretly taken, has no evidence of a singular inappropriate message from me or her, or even anything at all that isn't a story reply from Snapchat's story page of all your friends. What's more likely?
Right there you can see that she has at least 4 friends. And then you say that your Snapchat got deleted or banned and you don't have any friends. Tell us the truth, man. Please. You're gonna say that you don't have any friends, but respond to him saying that you should stream with your friends. She'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And then you say that you don't have any friends. And then he got friends right here. It's like, I don't get it. I'm sure everybody else is confused too, that this doesn't make any sense. How could you say that you don't have any friends and then show pictures of your friends?
She happens to have no evidence of anything she's claiming, even from things she claimed happened after she was taking pictures secretly using a second phone, or she doesn't have any evidence because it didn't happen. She factually deleted and hid messages. She factually lied about me deleting messages that I didn't. She called people doubting her jealous of her, was banned from streamers' chats before this for posting sexual things, and she lied about having specific pieces of evidence that she never provided because they don't exist. If she's willing to factually lie, cover up, and hide things, how can you trust anything else she says as being representative of the truth? Lastly, once again, she said she was going to take legal action. She then tweeted a picture of the inside of a police station and also said she'll come back with more evidence, to be patient, that it's a process, and that it could be days. And that's her last tweet. It's been almost 1.5 years now. Obviously, nothing happened. I waited and waited. Then...
So I do realize that post was made in 2022, and it said that this was a year ago, so I'm actually making this 2 years after this happened. Sorry. I guess YouTube just hasn't recognized, or like, maybe he posted this on like August of 2021? No, never mind. Okay, never mind. But just because he was friends with a minor at one point, everybody thinks that he was having a sexual conversation with that minor. And was like sending nudes and stuff, and that's just completely wrong, bro. Why would he even do that? You wouldn't think of someone this popular, well, to do something like this, except that people this popular have done something like this. But you can't say something like this, like say he was having a sexual conversation with me, who is a minor, and have no proof backing it up. Like, if a popular YouTuber wanted to be friends with me, I'll probably keep it to myself, so people didn't think that that YouTuber was a minor, or what? A pedophile. Like, if anyone in that Dream SMP or whatever, they did DSMP, were to be friends with me, I would keep it to myself until I wasn't a minor. And that would just be stupid, because I know that wait, no, it wouldn't. What? I know that if I did say that I was friends with someone over 18, like on YouTube or like right now or something, then people would think that that person is a minor just because they're friends with me. It's just so weird. Like, if people just believe anything is wrong,
I got impatient, so I asked my legal team to look more into it. They got all of her information, and after filing many requests, they couldn't find anything. So, annoyed and still impatient, I asked them to get more specific. And after a lot of digging, my legal team was able to track down exactly where this picture is from, based on the colors of the walls, the cameras, and a plaque outside the door. Then had someone go to...
This is very, very impressive for their team to do this. Like I said, I don't want to beat this video too long, make this video too long, but long story short, this section, like this entire section, they can't find anything. Their legal team can't find anything. They found what police station this was taken from and was able to contact it, but could not find anything about Dream. Or, like, nothing like that. The next section here would be what happened after.
After these allegations and after my face reveal, I'll be honest, I lost a lot of motivation. I distanced myself from Minecraft, and I even thought about quitting and retiring. Of course, it was pretty scary, and I just wanted to be able to upload Minecraft videos and have fun with my friends without worrying about people trying to ruin my life or attack my family or make up lies about me. And after all the swatting and doxing and fake allegations, it really just felt not worth it anymore. But also, I had basically been stuck inside for the majority of the last 4 years, so I just thought I'd step back for a little bit. I traveled with my friends, I met a lot of creators for the first time, I worked on music, had my tour, and really just stepped back from my online life. And I feel like during this time, I really disappointed a lot of my friends and their fans as a result. I didn't spend as much time on the finale of the Dream SMP as I should have. I wasn't good at communicating about anything, really, including important stuff for some people. I wasn't very inactive on everything, and I pretty much isolated myself from most creators that weren't in my immediate circle. There was a looming cloud over me, and I felt bad talking to people because I didn't want to bring any negativity towards anyone. Later on, I got pretty insecure about my creator friendships that weren't people that I was super close with before YouTube. And even though everyone that I was friends with was very supportive and had my back and would reassure me privately, I still couldn't help but worry that because there were people online spreading hateful things about me, that it would impact their view of me personally. At one point, I ended up making a massive mess by tweeting publicly about a problem that I had with Quackity because he wasn't replying to me for a while. We had both made translation mods, and people were claiming that we were copying each other. It was just a mess. I was 100% wrong with taking anything public. Anything that can be handled in private should be handled in private, and I've always had that belief. So the way that I handled it was totally screwed up even by my own standards. It was completely driven by fear and insecurity over my friendships, and it was not something that Quackity deserved at all. If Quackity didn't want to reply to me about it or wanted to ignore it, that was entirely within his right to do, especially given the awkward circumstances of everything. I'm extremely proud of everything Quackity has done with his project, the QSMP, and genuinely he did it way better than I ever could have. It's incredible, and everyone really should go check it out. I should have focused completely on the good that came from it all and not let myself get stuck on trying to work something out as friends when he seemed perfectly fine working on his own thing with his own community. Again, there's a lot of things that can explain my mindset, but at the end of the day, I'm sorry to Quackity and his community for creating unnecessary drama, and I hope that people can try and understand my mindset, where I was coming from, and that even if it doesn't seem like it, it's all from a place of love and care for my friends and the community. It was just an emotional time, and I made a mistake. After that, obviously even more time passed, and again, there was nothing new with the allegation, there was no updates. I talked to a lot of people for updated advice, lawyers, PR people with experience, and everyone told me that it's in my best interest to stay quiet. As time went on, I disagreed more and more and decided that I was going to respond against their advice. So during a live stream, I mentioned that I was going to respond soon and talked about the allegation a little bit. And of course, after this, clips of what I said were taken out of context. People were spreading far and wide that I admitted to grooming and a lot of other really impactful lies. And of course, because of this, a lot of people on Twitter took it as an opportunity to joke about me being a pedophile and one of those people was named Nicholas Cantu. If you don't know who that is, he's the voice actor for Gumball, Diego from Dora, and one of the turtles in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had a terrible experience in real life with this person, so I replied to him talking about it and defending myself, and this situation blew up. I don't think I've ever gotten more hate in my life. September 23rd, I went to a friend of mine's birthday party in Austin, Texas. When I showed up, Nicholas Cantu was there. He was already drunk and was drinking. He was being very aggressive to me throughout the night. I didn't know him. This was my first time ever meeting him, and we were not friends. Eventually, while on FaceTime to show his friends, he hit me out of nowhere. Again, this was my first time ever meeting him. I was there for another hour or so, and then when leaving the party, everyone decided to Uber together because it was late and there wasn't many of us there. Nicholas ended up in the front seat of the Uber that I was in, despite my apprehension. I thought, what's the worst that could happen? It's an Uber ride, and there's other people there, so I wasn't worried. Little did I know, he ended up dropping his phone out of the Uber window in the middle of the highway, and after he got out to look for it, the police showed up and stopped him from looking because it was dangerous and dark. Eventually, the Uber driver convinced Nicholas to leave.
Well, I want to promise you that I'm sober, so if you guys want to conduct a sobriety test.
Hey, look, hey, we're about to head out.
And after we left, the Uber driver was trying to give advice to Nicholas on the police, telling him that he could have been arrested, and Nicholas did not like what he had to say.
You're retarded, you're Down syndrome. How far did you go in your education?
Who cares?
Of course, I started to get involved and argue with Nick, defending the Uber driver, and Nick did not like that at all.
Either you're going to be paralyzed or you're going to be dead. Like, I'm serious.
Okay, man.
And he was saying this, of course, after he had already assaulted me. While this was all happening, one of the other two people in the car with me that I also just met that night was recording me. He was aware of this, and he was actually the one that asked to be recorded.
Thanks for recording, by the way. How long is it? But yeah, this YouTube video is going to be nuts. Subscribe to the Cancer Network. Tune your sets right there.
The next day, Nicholas sent me a very nice DM saying that he was sorry for hitting me, that he was having a really rough night, and that he was high and drunk, and said that he was sorry for spreading false allegations that he knew nothing about, saying that he recognized it could ruin people's lives. He complimented me, called me humble, grounded, and a good human. I didn't accept this apology, but I moved on, and honestly, I felt kind of bad for him. I recognized that he was once a child actor, and I feel like there's a lot of bad stuff in that industry, so I felt a little bit of sympathy. I hoped he would just learn from the mistakes he made that night and move on. But then, of course, Nicholas started tweeting, spreading the same lies about me that he had already apologized for spreading.
Yeah, this is something that doesn't make sense. This guy, he assaulted Dream, and it was just rude of him. He was threatening him and shit. And then he apologized. He does like a massive apology. Like he writes like a massive apology. And now he just goes back to saying, bro, when you're an actual pedo, you can't joke about being a pedo. Where does he even get this information from? Like, where? It doesn't make sense. You apologize to him, and now you're just being an asshole. Like this. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Like, if there's a party, there's gonna be no minors at the party, so there's no proof of him, like, making out with some random kid during the party. It's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. Because, how are you gonna apologize to someone because you were being an asshole, then go back to being an asshole?
And recognized could ruin people's lives. He was also wishing death upon me publicly in Twitter replies, and that's when I realized it wasn't just one bad night, and people needed to know about this. After I shared my experiences with him, he denied everything. He DM'd me saying I was lying, saying that if there wasn't video proof, it's all lies. He tweeted denying it all, which he deleted. And then he tweeted lying more about the situation, but also admitting to some stuff while underplaying it. He blatantly lied about the fact that he tipped the Uber driver when he didn't. He blatantly lied about me sending unsolicited dick pics to people. He also deleted that tweet almost immediately after. He blatantly lied about the reason he hit me and claimed I called the girl and got slapped for it, which again was later recanted, but not after millions of people had already seen those lies. Nicholas tried DMing one of the people that was in the Uber that night with us to try and get them on his side as a witness. That caused the person who I didn't know at all to message me and tell me that they had videos of him being horrible from that night and that they don't like that he's pretending to be innocent. I asked them if they'd be willing to send me the video so I could back up my story since he was denying it and lying.
This is the most insane part.
They told me that he was threatening them to make sure they didn't give me the video.
That's actually insane. He can't defend himself, so he's saying if they had the video linked, which they did, then he would literally threaten him. That's actually insane. You can't send the video to anybody. He eventually did, but you can't send the video to anybody, or else he would. I don't know what the threat was. I don't think he does either, but you can't send the video to anyone without like, I don't know, being airstriked or something, which is actually fucking insane. Like, you're just hopeless at that point. You can't have any evidence being shown on us, or else you'll get tons of hate and you can't defend yourself because of it.
After I ended up finally getting the videos, I posted them. I needed to defend myself against the lies that he was telling and wanted to share the proof. I also posted screenshots of text between me and the Uber driver, confirming that he had blatantly lied and didn't even tip the Uber driver. After I posted this, Nicholas went silent, deleted his tweets, and hasn't said anything publicly since. People still think that I lied and faked the Uber driver's text, or many other lies that were falsely spread by Nicholas or other people online. So I got in contact with the Uber driver from that night, I interviewed him, and I'll let him speak for himself to help clear some things up. Hey, what's the worst that can happen? It's an Uber drive. And what's the worst that can happen?
What's the worst that can happen? It happened.
Either you're gonna be paralyzed, or you're gonna be dead. Like, I'm serious.
Okay, man. What's going on, man?
This is our Uber driver, who happens to be one of the highest rated Uber drivers in all of Texas. He agreed to come share his recollection of what happened, so I'm just gonna let him talk.
When I picked you guys up, you know, he had a lot of energy. He was wild, like putting his head outside filming. The phone dropped out of the car. When the cop showed up, the cop came up to the car at first and was talking to him. And the way that he was speaking to the cop, he was speaking like down on the cop. And I'm like, man, like, you need to be quiet because you're going to go to jail if you keep talking to the cops like that. As soon as I said that, not even 20 seconds, the cop came. And he was like, you get out the car, you're going to jail. I'm trying to save you from going to jail because I don't want nobody to go to jail, period. He kept saying something about, like, IQ. Like, he felt like he was better. And I was like, nobody cares about your IQ. There's a lot of people with high IQs in jail right now. So what are you going to tell him? You're going to talk to him and say that you're a child star while you're in jail? So I was like, I'm trying to help you out. I don't want you to go to jail. Even after you're acting crazy and wild, which most Uber drivers would have left you. You never said anything negative towards him while he was saying all this stuff. Majority of the stuff didn't make it on the tape. I think he was going through a lot of other things besides just being drunk. And the thing is, it doesn't really matter what he was on, what he was going through, the way he was acting, it was unacceptable. 50 or 60%, I may be wrong about the number, but something like that of all violence has alcohol in it. So if that was the case, all these people would be getting away with it. Like y'all kept saying, I'm sorry. Like we just met him.
You're gonna be forgotten like the dust in the sand. When you're in Sahara, there's 100 million, 1,000 billion. Same particles, you're gonna be one of those. And I'm gonna be a statue erected in gold.
Yeah, he went all into the Egyptian king and the like. He's real creative.
Yeah, did he ever tip you anything?
No, that was another lie. Well, I don't know why he said that. And you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't even matter about the tip or anything like that. Don't say it if you're not going to do it. And don't say it at all. I wasn't begging you guys for a tip or anything like that. Man, it was an eventful night. I don't know why a lot of people think that you were the one that was doing all these things and making all this stuff up and you wanted to do all this. I was like, he was the one that was trying to stop everything the most.
I posted like literally just like 2 screen caps of text from you, and everybody was saying they were fake. It was one of the messages where you said like there needs to be more people like you in the world or something, and they're like, when would somebody ever say that?
Because they didn't experience you in that manner, right? Those are my real words, and I did feel that way. So I'm letting you guys know right now, all those text messages, that was me saying it. Dream did make the situation better. Everybody coming at Dream, that's not how it went down. It was nothing like that. And now you're telling me how you got hit, and it showed me who you are. The first impression of somebody is the lasting impression. And you were nothing but respectful since you got in the vehicle. And you tried to de-escalate everything that was going on. And all the people in the back. Nicholas, if you are listening, really do some deep diving in yourself and figure out what the real issue was. Do a lot of soul searching. Because you are intelligent, because I could tell some of your comebacks and what were you saying. But the way you were acting was more of a cry for help. Whatever you're going through, you got to fight and you got to get some help. Don't fight other people. Fight what you're going through. At the end of the day, I know we all make bad decisions and we have to learn the lesson from it. And this was just a bad decision that you made, and just learn from it. And all the different YouTubers and all the different people that were commenting about the situation, I do understand the entertainment part of it, right? And it's just I've seen a lot of memes and everything, but I was reading a lot of comments. He was saying this, or he was saying that, or it doesn't make sense. All that stuff doesn't mean anything if you were not there. It's just speculation. And if somebody older is trying to help you guys out, my advice is for you guys to listen. That's it. That's all you have to do. But you don't have to be negative towards them. And we have to stick together because there's so many things that keep us apart, right? Just like if you look at it, it's the Dream and the voice for Gumball. How about you and Nicholas have a sit down with me? We talk all the issues and all the problems out, and we can show people how bringing things together from a negative to a positive, and see how that spreads. It's in the universe.
Amazing, man. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on.
That is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. And that quote, don't find other people, find what you're going through, that's good. That's a good quote. And just showing how he got actual, evidence from the Uber driver shows that he can, disapprove anything. Really. He goes on in a second to show about people saying that he gave alcohol to, I forgot his name, Gumball, whatever his name is. And they're saying that Dream gave alcohol to an underage minor, and he brings up 2 points. He's not a minor, and that it wasn't his party. And then he didn't influence anybody to drink alcohol. Which, if you're just making, his fans are just making up shit, and also just posted at 56 minutes, exactly. That's pretty cool. I'll let this part play out mostly, because this is a very, very good point that he makes, and doxing is very serious. Like I was saying, there's a lot of people killed, and it's just the main reason that doxing is actually just a terrible thing.
It got insane. Tweets doxing me and my friends and family got tens of thousands of likes. I have never seen that in my life. So I just want to talk very briefly about how serious doxing and swatting can be. It's a common thing for people to say that I don't think doxing is serious. In a clip that got a lot of attention from a stream of mine a while ago, I said that if you have 7 followers on Twitter, you shouldn't stress over being doxed. I don't stand by that, and I didn't mean to minimize doxing at all. I had just said before that if you dox people, you are not a part of my community, that I don't support you, and that it's disgusting. It can happen to anyone, and it can be serious to anyone. I was just trying to make the point that it's less likely to happen to somebody that's smaller, because people have less reasons to target them, and that if they were targeted, they had less reason to actually follow through on anything. But it's just not something that I should have said or something I should have explained, as it made it seem like I was supporting doxing when I just wasn't at all. I have always said that doxing is extremely serious, swatting is extremely serious, and I don't think people even realize how serious. It's not just, haha, funny, send a pizza to someone's house. It's attempted identity theft for my family members and friends, credit cards being signed up for in people's names, fans or people who dislike you showing up at your house or your family's house to try and break in, trackers being put on your family members' cars, people showing up at your little sister's job, SWAT teams being called to you in your family members' houses, bomb threats and the FBI having to make sure you're okay, people calling your 80-year-old grandma pretending to be you and terrorizing her. That's all stuff that has happened to me, my family, and my friends. They're not hypotheticals. This isn't just that you don't like Dream. It's not just me whose life you're putting at risk and who you're harassing. You're going after an 80-year-old woman who has done nothing to you. It's not just me you're hurting when you make up lies or spread horrible things. It's the 50 employees I have, who also have families and lives. It's all of my friends and anyone that's ever been associated with me. My family, my grandparents, and most importantly, actual victims who have gone through traumatic things. And that's not even talking about the stuff that hasn't happened to me, but has happened to other people. Pets and people being shot by police officers during swattings. People breaking in with a gun to kill a YouTuber they don't like. It's incredibly serious, and it's not okay. That wasn't even the end of the craziness, though. That was the beginning. Because then, during the midst of all the Nicholas drama, someone tweeted out this, accusing me of sexting a...
Okay, right, yeah. He goes through how a lot of people have died and pets have died from swatting, and then it's gone to the point where people are harassing his grandma, his 80-year-old grandma, just so they can get even a glimpse of what he looks like, or just to have him dead. People really don't like this guy, and I don't understand why. Everything he says is true. Like in this video, he deflects everything that he says. It doesn't make it make sense. Why do you hate this guy so much when he's done nothing wrong? Literally. Just because this guy has his face hidden, people are just obsessed. Like, I want to see this dude. They want to see his face so bad. He had to swat his entire family. And he had to harass his grandmother, who had no association with, like, the events at all. And now they're gonna talk about, hold on. I don't know if we already went past the part where, okay, no, this is a different allegation, okay. We'll let this one play out, partially.
16/17-year-old girl named Jamie. Because I was currently the internet punching bag, and it was proof that the punching was justifiable, it was spread very quickly, without a lot of questions being asked. Before I break it down, I want to immediately say that this is not true. I did not groom anyone, I did not groom Jamie, and I would never be inappropriate with someone underage. When they posted this allegation, attached was a video. That, of course, went viral. It was a video from another phone of a Snapchat being opened, supposedly from Dream, that had moaning in the background and a very sexual caption. This is the clip in its entirety, without audio.
This isn't me editing the video, he just wanted to...
They also attached screenshots of Discord DMs between anonymous people who were claimed to be two friends of Dreams, and said it was them discussing me having sex at a minor. In these screenshots, they say that I was confronted about it and that I admitted it. I've shown you every piece of evidence they posted, without changes, and I've mentioned everything that they've claimed. Now, just to reiterate, this is not true. Every piece of evidence is either out of context, edited, blatantly lied about, or presented in a very disingenuous way. Again, I did not groom anyone. I also was never confronted about grooming by any of my friends. Now, of course, when something like this is claimed, it's extremely serious, so I'm going to break it down in detail. Okay, so who is this accusation from? It's from an anonymous burner account made the day of the accusation, which is interesting. So we don't know who they are, but we do know who the victim is. Jamie, right? And how old did they say she was? They said 16/17. Okay, so what else do we know about Jamie? They said she left the internet in 2020. So because they apparently can't, let me tell you who Jamie is. I followed Jamie on Twitter, which people quickly pointed to as proof. As you can see, Jamie is also followed by Skeppy, Verb, and Spifey, other YouTubers from the community. I met Jamie when I wasn't even a YouTuber. I had just posted my first ever YouTube video less than a month before. I had less than 100 followers on Twitter the month that I met her. I made a lot of friends around this time because I wasn't a big creator and I was part of a lot of online communities as a fan. She played on Bad Boy Halo's Minecraft server and was a fan of Skeppy. I was trying to grow and make connections, and I had pretty much just made my Twitter account, so I made a lot of friends. Many people from this time I'm still friends with to this day. People claiming that me following her is proof that I sexed underage fans or groomed her at all is ridiculous. These claims are completely false. They were right about her age. She's 21 now, so she would have been around 17 4 years ago. That's about the only correct thing they said this entire time. Like, remember they said she quit the internet in 2020 as a convenient way to excuse any questions about her? Well, she didn't. She liked a tweet from last month, actively tweeted all of 2022, and she changed her bio and Twitter account name when this happened, just wanting to be left alone? That's interesting. And she actually tweeted saying she only privated her account because some of her IRL friends were finding it and she didn't want them to. I wonder why they lied about that. Maybe because the person who's claiming this doesn't know Jamie, doesn't know anything about Jamie, doesn't know me, doesn't know anything about me, and is being malicious and making up whatever they can to end my career. Let's talk about some other stuff. They also said they posted the videos with permission, which of course makes the videos seem much more real. Well, it's apparently me, and I didn't give them permission, and it's apparently sent to Jamie, and she didn't give them permission. She quit the internet. She couldn't have. They even critiqued Moist Critical for his video, saying how terrible it was, claiming that I admitted that the Snapchats were real, which I never did. In their original tweet, they notably say when she had her age in her bio, which seems oddly specific, just to remove the few people that would say, well, what if he didn't know her age? When even in their own proof, which is random Discord messages with no context or who the messages even are. In another part of their screenshot, anonymous person number 2 says this, but for some reason, that's cropped out of their tweets. Because they don't even know what the screenshots they're using as evidence say. They don't care about the truth. They're just making things up as they go. And because it's a claim against me, people will just believe it. They can say, Jamie left the internet. No proof, but I guess she did. They say they got permission to post these videos. I guess they did. They post a video of Snapchats. Say it's mine. They never show the Snapchat profile or any proof that it's my Snapchat, but I guess you can't change your Snapchat name for free to anything at any time as many times as you want. So it must be Dream. No more evidence needed. They're telling the truth. Even with what little context and evidence they have, They have to crop things and lie to try and hide the fact that they know nothing. But the burner seemed so confident. They couldn't be being malicious. They even put in their bio that if Dream reached out, they would personally give him their information so that he could sue them, because everything they were saying was 100% true. Oh, what? That's not in their bio anymore? That's weird. I wonder why they removed that. They did reveal who they got the original screenshots from, so let's see what that person has to say and why the burner was so confident in their claims. Quote, "I don't know Jamie. I've never known her. I've never had a private or a public interaction with her at all." Unquote. Wow, seems like they have a whole lot of information. So I reached out to them to try and find anything that I could find to find out what this was even about, because I've never been confronted by one of my friends for grooming, and I've never groomed anybody. So I found out who was anonymous in these messages, and let's hear what they have to say.
These screenshots are extremely out of context and used disingenuously to tell a story about Dream that isn't true at all. I haven't spoken to Dream in a very long time, but to my knowledge, he has not interacted with underage fans inappropriately or in any way that could be considered grooming. These DMs were posted by the burner without my permission and without ever contacting me beforehand. They were sent to the burner by a vulnerable person that was upset and being taken advantage of while under the influence of alcohol. I want to be anonymous and stay completely out of this because all of the terrible stuff I've seen happen to everyone mentioned on both sides is very scary. This conversation was private in my life, and no one deserves to have their personal life dug through because of anonymous people making false claims without knowledge or context about anything they're saying.
This person was not involved at all and did not consent to anything. Now, if you're a little confused, I am too. This is a burner account making up things. Their story makes no sense. Okay, so let's just summarize this. This allegation is not from a victim. It is from an anonymous Twitter account that was made the same day as the allegation. This anonymous person claims that I groomed a girl named Jamie. They did not ever contact Jamie. They did not know Jamie. They got none of their information from Jamie. They even incorrectly said that she quit the internet years ago when she's still active to this day. They posted videos claiming to be from me to a minor. They never showed proof that it was from me or my Snapchat profile. They never showed proof of who it was to. They cropped context from screenshots, lied publicly and said I admitted the videos were from me. They falsely alluded to the fact that the victim gave them permission and ended up causing massive harassment and terror to Jamie, who they said was a victim of mine. The person in the screenshots claims that I'm not a groomer, that they're extremely out of context, and that the burner doesn't even know what was being discussed, and that now their personal life is being dug into due to...
Okay, so that should be all I need. So, just to summarize how I've never been on, I don't really go on Twitter that much. I don't even know what a burner account is. I'm assuming this is like an anonymous account who just posts stuff, I don't know. But they couldn't be more wrong about the things that they said. So, you see that they've made all these false accusations, like how Dream groomed Jamie, but they didn't even know Jamie or know who Jamie was. So you can't really prove anything, and that they've said that they've quit the internet in 2020, but they're still active to this day. Well, I don't know if they're active to this day, but they were. Just this stuff, it's just making it proves my point where anybody will believe anything that they see on the internet if they wanted to. Like, he doesn't have proof that Jimmy quit the internet. Okay, it doesn't really make sense, but he's just saying all this stuff and just hoping that someone would believe it, and then it would be spread, and then those people would believe it, and then more people would believe it. And then there's probably going to be like one accusation, like one tiny accusation that Jim just doesn't cover because he's never heard of it, and people will get onto him for that. It's like, hey, wait, he didn't cover this, that must mean that it's true, or something like that. That's basically all for the burner account. Again, I don't know what that is.
Research. But wait, they reported me. They even reached out to the Orange County Police, my local police. They put it in writing.
Okay, this basically mentions what he was saying earlier about the other person, like, at the police station, filing a report on him. They go to a police station and file a report about him, about him being a predator and predating on on Jamie, when then again everything's not, or everything that the burner account says isn't true. Or at least like they got like one thing right, which is like the age. But they had, I don't even know how they knew what account or like what police station that the or their sheriff's office that Dream had, but or like was near. That's pretty weird. But from what they did know was that they were able to find out. They say that they did. That they did contact the sheriff's office, but then he also goes into like the files and said they like say, hey, has anybody like made any comments about me or anything? And he can't find anything again. Same thing with the police office. And they were able to clear his name, and it just doesn't make sense. That's just it from the victim.
They don't care about the truth. They don't care about what's real. They care about saying whatever they can to ruin my career.
Yeah, they're just trying to ruin his career in any way that they possibly can.
Don't care about
Oops, sorry. But what he's saying here that anybody, they'll be celebrating if he gets quote unquote caught. They don't care about the victims. Like, they're not gonna ask her. Like, so this is pretty weird, dude. I'm not gonna ask if this victim's okay, or like anything about the victim. They just care about him killing and ruining his career, and maybe just killing him in general. People are already having beef with him for no reason, and it doesn't make sense. This document is just fake. They said we have 24 pages of proof, but that they don't. Everything there is just a lie. I mean, he didn't admit anything that he didn't admit that it was him.
Anyways, I tweeted when I first saw this claim, pointing a finger at someone that I thought was behind the burner account. I was messaged by multiple friends with proof linking them to the account. They were the only non-anonymous name on any of the screenshots, have a massive dislike for me, and were actively replying to the allegation. So my obvious assumption was that they are behind the account. This person used to be a friend of mine many years ago, and we are no longer friends for unrelated reasons. They claimed since that their only involvement was that when they were drunk and having a manic episode, that they sent some screenshots of stuff into a group chat with people that were asking them questions. They claimed that they have no other involvement. They said they don't know where the videos are from, that videos were never sent to her, and that the screenshots in her DMs were pictures and not actually videos. She claims that she did not send the screenshots, claiming that I groomed anybody, and that she had nothing to do with them being posted by the anonymous burner account. Now, if this is true, which I can assume it is, it's just another horrible thing the burner account did. Taking advantage of a drunk person who is not having a good time and using their past with me to try and get dirt on me is just ridiculous. Now, I don't know who's behind the burner account, because it's an anonymous account. And unfortunately, they removed the thing from their bio that said they'd tell me who they are, so I could sue them. But regardless, my original tweets were worded poorly and people read into them, including her, and thought that I was claiming that the videos were real, but that I sent them to her. The screen recordings in my screenshot were from after the allegations were made, so I don't know how I would mean that. I only posted screenshots of her screen recording my chats to show that she was actively collecting information, but I see how if you don't know the dates, or really anything, then you could think that. In my tweet saying I was making a video about this, I called the audio essentially unsubstantiated revenge porn, with revenge porn in quotation marks, while of course denying that I groomed anyone. People again took that as me admitting that the audio was real, even though I literally say essentially, unsubstantiated, and put revenge porn in quotation marks. It is incredibly violating to have audio spread to the masses saying that it's you moaning, that people think is you moaning. Whether it is you moaning or not, it could be anyone moaning. It does not matter. It's still violating. This is sent to your little sister saying it's you moaning. It doesn't matter that it's not you moaning. It's being said seriously that it is. This is, in essence, revenge porn. This isn't even the only time I've had claimed sexual stuff spread about me. Once, people spread a video that was like deepfaked or something of me stuff.
Okay. This is where it gets weird. First of all, how do you even do that? How are you so flexible that you can go... it doesn't make sense. And then... There's so many rumors about this that say that he sunk his own blank. I don't understand. That's why I don't think that's humanly possible. But, and also that's another thing I don't understand. I don't know what revenge porn is. I'm assuming it's like something you can, I don't know, go to jail over maybe. I might sound really stupid, and I'm sorry if I do. I just don't understand. I don't know, man.
Fucking my own dick. It obviously wasn't me, but so many people thought it was, which even caused some YouTubers to make videos like this.
You guys know I've never been the biggest fan of the YouTuber Dream, but I have always had respect for him as a person. That ends today. Dream sucked his own dick. I thought it was a joke. And then I saw the rest. Was a video of Dream sucking his erection.
But of course, while this was all going on Twitter, it just was okay to lie about me. And all the people posting fake screenshots and memes and taking things seriously from parody accounts just proves how easy it is to fake this stuff. So let's talk about fake allegations and how horrible they are. It's become a bit of a trend in the online space, or at least the gaming space, to fake grooming allegations. There have been fake allegations against Bad Boy Halo, which the person ended up tweeting and admitting they were fake and saying that they're just kids that made a mistake after he legally threatened them. There have been fake allegations made against Sapnap that, again, they admitted were fake. After I replied this time and called out something that was wrong with their story, they continued to lie and try and convince me, though. There have been false allegations against Carl, Rambo, Wilbur, probably every Minecraft gaming creator you know. Me saying any name doesn't even matter. Not everyone gets traction, and not everyone has as much effort put into it, but there have been hundreds. There were a few notable ones against me during the last month. One was disproved because it was proved the video was edited, based on a frame hop. Another was disproved because of a photo in the background was from Tumblr. But there was one thing similar between all of them. They all showed fake evidence. They all showed fake edited Snapchats. They all showed fake edited pictures or videos. And that is scary. But sometimes they didn't even need evidence. Someone tweeted out that I wasn't working on my video, that I was actually out meeting a fan I met when they were 16 at a bar, and that I got stood up and laughed at by everyone. And this just didn't even happen, but you don't even need any proof. It was Thanksgiving, and I was charging my car by my grandparents' house, and I went to a non-alcoholic bar and played ping pong, and was never stood up by anybody. They can just make up whatever they want, and rudely take secret pictures of me, and people will believe it. This is crazy stalker behavior. They even said that I was the most ass ping pong player in the place, when I was undefeated. They even had to lie and slander my ping pong record. And then of course, parody accounts are tweeting images like this one, faking me DMing them and threatening them legally, or lots of other stuff. And again, this just shows how easy it is to fake stuff, especially when you're a burner account that has no accountability. One of the people that made the fake allegations even tweeted that I can't sue them, that they're anonymous and on a VPN, after they were caught. People will take a claim with almost no evidence and run with it, and ruin people's lives, hundreds of jobs, families, not even just when it's me. It may only be a trend in the Minecraft space right now, but it won't be that way for long. Okay, XQC, I know you're probably watching this, but I need to address this. What do you have to say for yourself? It's irrefutable proof. Look, here it is on a second phone. Prove to me you didn't send me this video.
Alright, so I don't think this is true, but if it is, it's just so fucked up. But I'm pretty sure it isn't true because I mean, XQC is just a weird person in general. I don't mean that in a rude way. I mean that he's just so funny. It's kind of weird. No, never mind. Okay, that just sounds weird. There's no proof that this is Dream sending this video. There's no proof that it was XQC who sent this video because there's another popular YouTuber out there. I don't know if you know him, but his name's PewDiePie. His name's Felix, I think. So it could also be, yeah. It could also be like PewDiePie sending him that video. I don't know. I don't know either of them. I haven't watched either of them, like, at all. But that moaning's just weird, so I'm not gonna actually show it that much. But then there's another one of Pokemon about this. Yeah, she said that she just found some stupid cookie that she repackaged she's selling him for 10 times the price of my fans are stupid as fuck. You can go buy him anyway. He's a pretty girl and she'll get rich off of stupid little girls and Sims again. I don't know what she means by again, probably because she's already getting rich off of like Sims and stuff, but I don't know.
And I think that's disgusting. What do you have to say for yourself? What more proof do you need? I also have the cookies she sent me, and a signed note from her. This is irrefutable evidence. You get the point. I made all of those pieces of evidence in 10 minutes with only free programs. What's stopping anyone from going and making a fresh account, faking evidence, and then accusing a person they hate of something vile? Be careful what you believe, and ask questions. Believing real victims is important, but not believing fake victims is very important to real victims too. As for my conclusion on this video, I have a couple things to say. First of all, I just want to recognize that I'm probably in this position because of myself. People that made these claims undoubtedly had unhealthy parasocial relationships with me, and that's why it's gotten to this point. I want to and will do anything I can to denounce this. My view on fans has shifted slowly over time, jumping massively when I face revealed and actually got to meet fans in person, which made things much more real and massively changed my perspective. I think it's incredibly unhealthy to be obsessive with someone, and I also think that it's clear to anyone that's stepping back and looking at these situations that people obsessively hate me and are making up lies about me, which is also because of parasocialness. Parasocial love turned to parasocial hate. And I have no doubt that the anonymous people making these fake allegations were once big fans of mine. I grew up being a massive fan of football, and I had jerseys of my favorite players and was very passionate, so I've always related to stands in that way, but my passion never turned to obsession, and I never truly realized how serious it can get, even sometimes when people were literally telling me. I think that part of why I'm in the position that I'm in right now is because I started pulling away from my fans after my face reveal. Meeting fans in person made things much more real, and I wasn't so chronically online anymore because I actually had real life and things to do. I think that the fact that I'm a very relaxed person overall that has relaxed boundaries has encouraged that type of behavior too, so I'm just going to re-clarify some of my boundaries. One, I don't support any sexually explicit art of me or my friends. It never bothered me personally that much because I don't really care about anything, but it is just weird, especially if you're a minor and drawing anything like that. That's gross. I don't support anything inappropriate for minors at all. Art, TikToks, comments, anything. It's gross. 2, serious shipping is bad. I think that prying into people's private relationships, being deeply speculative or anything like that is terrible. I don't mind jokes. I don't mind doing it for fun, but anything serious really crosses the line. Again, I've always found it funny being shipped with George because we're not dating and we're friends. But if you genuinely think that we are dating, and it's part of your personality or you obsess over it, you need to get off the internet. That is not healthy. I'm sure I'll make more clarifications in the future, but I just don't want anything weird. Don't obsess over me or my friends. I deleted a video called Stands on my second channel that I made a while ago that I don't necessarily view the same way now. That doesn't mean that I don't appreciate you as a fan, but again, just be normal. Be the passionate fan, not the stalker, obsessive fan. I've already had people with access to all of my accounts for a long time, but I will be slightly changing how I use my accounts now. At the end of the day, I do just want to make Minecraft content and have fun with my friends. That's it. That's all. Because of that, I've been a bit of a detriment to myself by arguing on Twitter or getting into petty drama that I don't need to. So because of that, I'm just not going to be using Twitter anymore. I'm going to have someone run my Twitter and post tweets promoting my content. I'll still tweet non-promotional stuff, just with it being positive only and going through multiple people. And I don't want anyone that's a fan of mine to take anything super negative away from this video or think about things in a really sad way. I want to be positive, and that's one of my favorite things about having a community at all, spreading positivity and love. So try and be positive. Say something nice today. Do something nice today. I don't want to keep letting this cloud loom over my head though, so I'm just going to move on. I don't plan on making any more statements, and I don't plan on talking about this anymore. This is it. I just want to focus on making the best content that I can, so that's what I'm going to do. I have tons of Minecraft content that I've been working on, and I'm super excited to put it out there. Pretty crazy. And I've been working on some stuff for over a year now. I don't want to throw the excitement away, and again, this was by far the biggest reason for my inactivity. So Minecraft Dream will be coming back full force, stepping away from Twitter, and just focusing on putting out awesome Minecraft videos like I used to do. So yeah, I appreciate everyone that watched this video all the way through. I'm sure it was a roller coaster. There's tons of links and information as well in the description. I also posted multiple videos on my second channel. See you guys soon.
See you. Oh wait, hey. So, summed up the video pretty good. I also paused it right before it ended somehow, but I do agree mostly that ships are, like, if you ship 2 real life people together, even though they're not together, and if you ship them like extremely and as like part of your life, like your Discord browser, something says like DNF with like a heart or something. I'm sorry, but you need physical help. And it hurts me to say that, but I think you just need some physical help from a therapist or something. Okay. Hey, Bloggy. Alright, so now we're gonna move on to the more recent stuff, I think. 5 months ago, but well, I guess it's okay, whatever. Well, here is Tommy in his video where he makes some very false accusations, in my opinion. And I think it's obvious that Dream won this, but I'll let this video play out because it's 25 minutes. It's not like I'm taking like 10 years to make this video. Anyway, let's get started.
Hello. This video is a message to Dream. If you've been off the internet the past couple days and haven't kept up, basically, if you're one of my subscribers, Dream has called you a slur. So deal with that how you want. Okay, now look, I have Dream blocked and everything, and I intend to keep it that way. So Dream, hello mate, let's just dive right in, shall we? Talk about you calling all my fans the arslur. You can't throw around the arslur, mate. You just can't. My mum worked with adults with disabilities, and since I was 12 I volunteered with her. These are real, fucking amazing people, who I think of like family, who actually get called this slur. And you do not just throw it around. It's impossibly immature and reckless and sets such a shitty precedent to everyone. Shame on you, man. In your stream you slagged off a lot of my pals. Come on, mate. I mean, my friends are all idiots, but they have bloody good hearts. However, with your group, I cannot believe how the George stuff from a year ago went down. I cannot believe the response to it online. It's disgusting. It's sexist, man. And you and your friends' references and the way you talk about women behind the scenes has been so sexist too. Shame on you guys. Now, mate, talk about me and you. You've basically spent the past day calling me a dickhead. And look, pal, I have made mistakes, and I'm gonna make loads more. But the difference is, I give a shit. I'm trying. I'm putting in effort, and I really care. And I take responsibility when I've fucked up. Dream. 4 years ago, you were awful to me. When I was 16, you gave me YouTube advice, and you held that over my head for years. You didn't treat me like an equal, and you made me feel small. The Dream SMP, a lot of your success just wouldn't have happened without me, streaming every single night on the server and caring about everything as much as I did. And you made me feel small about that. And I was a kid. Shame on you, man. And you knew what you were doing, because I've watched you do it to other people too. And if you didn't, and that was just an accident, then fucking hell, man. You called me a promoter of all my other projects I do in your Reddit post too. Yeah, man, are you stupid? Of course I promote all this stuff. But the difference between me and you is I actually give a shit. I put effort, my absolute best, into all these new things. I'm gonna talk about my brilliant podcast because I'm really proud of it. Or the book I spent months writing. Or comedy. I mean, mate, I've ditched the internet for a year to do the rounds in tiny pubs, to do the stand-up comedy circuit the legitimate way, because of people like you. People who have ruined this space. And that takes balls. Courage. I'm not just selling USB baby photos or lazily designed merchandise, alright? I'm doing the best with what I have. I'm nearly the age you were when you met me, and if I acted the way you did to a 16-year-old who looks up to you, I'd be so ashamed of myself, man. Now finally, Dream, mate. You harassed my mum as she was going through a divorce, the worst time of her life. You tried to harm the relationship between me and my mum. And if we weren't best friends, with the shit that you were saying, you probably could have really harmed that, mate. You are like a proper movie villain. I have watched you take advantage of vulnerable people and use them to benefit yourself. I have watched you lie to fans, to me, to people, and take no responsibility afterwards. You are incapable of taking any criticism. You refuse to change anything about yourself. You reframe everything so that you are the victim. 4 years have gone by, and the rest of us have grown, reflected, really tried to better ourselves and learn after going through that incredibly overwhelming experience together. And you've reverted to saying slurs and punching down. It's not just me that feels like this about you either. Most YouTubers do. I'm just very loud about it. I really hope you're not a genuine bad person with a bad heart. But mate, you need to get off the internet now. Go and get some therapy. Spend some time around your loved ones. Go on a walk. look after yourself. You being an arsehole right now doesn't mean you will be one forever. But fucking hell, man. With great power comes great responsibility. And you just don't ever seem to take responsibility for your actions. Figure your shit out, man, because how you behave right now is just not going to cut it. Right. Yeah, as I said, I am going on tour, doing my comedy to Australia, USA, and the UK. So if you want to see me in person making you laugh and giving you some relief from all of this bullshit, then go to TommyInit.com.
Okay, so anyway, user starts plugging this shit here. I don't think Tommy has seen his video about the truth, though I know we just that we just reviewed. I'll see right quick if he made any other response. Okay, well, I guess we'll watch this one too, so make that free videos.
Tommy Innit post.
I couldn't find Dream's actual response to this video, so I'm gonna watch this one. Hope this guy doesn't, like, get mad at me for using his video.
Did a video yesterday that was titled Dream, where he said a lot of stuff about me that isn't true, but he did correctly criticize me for something that I want to apologize for before I respond to the rest of his video. I posted a meme on Twitter that used the R word, and I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry, genuinely. I think it's important to acknowledge right off the bat that that's not right, that's not how you should behave. I shouldn't have done it, period. Now I want to talk about Tommy's video and why I was angry enough to post something so stupid. Tommy, you and some of your friends have been spreading disproven lies about me for over a year and a half. When I had false allegations made about me, it was one of the hardest times of my life, and you and your friends decided that after I went through the hell of debunking them, that you would continue to spread, joke about, and support these lies. You don't believe me that you've been doing this? Let's just hear your own best friend confirm that this has been happening.
I get why he might be mad about the lies. That group being like, he's a pedophile all the time, which again, I don't like. I think we shouldn't joke about people being pedophiles unless we actually know for sure. Because, dude...
I can hear... Oh my god, I didn't get to that. But, okay. I'm sure some of you know Tubbo. I know Tubbo, I don't actually. Okay, whatever. He brings up that okay. He mentions that you shouldn't be calling people a pedophile unless there's physical proof that they are. And there's no proof that Dream's a pedophile. There's no proof that Tommy's a pedophile. There's no proof that anybody is a pedophile that is, you know, there's no point of calling anybody a pedophile. Like, there's no point of calling Jim a pedophile when it wasn't true. And that's so fucked up. There wasn't any proof that he was. So why'd you call him one, you know? They're just stupid.
The Brighton lot, I want to stop throwing out random strays and calling people pedophiles just for cheap laughs.
As you guys know, I made a video debunking those allegations, and after my video, the accusers even came forward and admitted that they were not true. I thought that would be the end of it, but for some reason, you and your friend group thought that you would kick me while I was down.
I genuinely think the friend group needs to stop calling Dream a fucking pedophile for cheap laughs. It's stupid to repeatedly call Dream a pedophile when it's not the case.
In your stream you slagged off a lot of my pals. Come on, mate. I mean, my friends are all idiots, but they have bloody good hearts.
Like, yeah, I know you're upset because they call you pedos, but they've got big hearts.
And you and your friends' references and the way you talk about women behind the scenes has been so sexist too. Shame on you guys.
I don't even know what this is about. You don't provide any context or evidence to what you're saying. Tommy Innit, your racist behavior behind the scenes is unacceptable. You are a racist behind the scenes, and it's unacceptable. Shame on you. You're mad that I criticized your friends in a 3-hour-long live stream with screenshots and receipts of their not-so-good behavior, so you just make stuff up about my friends? I mean, you didn't have a problem interviewing Sapnap in one of your videos recently.
Sapnap! Well, Sapnap, you see, today I'm no longer Tommy Innit, famed Minecraft YouTuber. I'm actually Professor Respect. Okay, well, good to see you.
Yeah. Designate tech! Gun disable tech!
Oh, and you tried to interview George, but he walked away because he didn't want to be in your video. So there's two options. Either one, they're not bad people, or two, you don't care enough to not profit off of them. Like, you'll be best friends with Logan Paul in private, but then the second it becomes beneficial for people to think that you don't like him, then all of a sudden you have a problem with all those shitty things that he's done.
He has booked another flight to Japan. 4 years ago, you were awful to me. When I was 16, you gave me YouTube advice, and you held that over my head for years.
I gave you YouTube advice because I thought that you were extremely talented, hardworking, and you had a big dream to be a YouTuber. And that's why with no expectations, we called for hours a day talking about YouTube, strategies, and ideas. And I never held this over your head. Most people hearing that I helped you at all are probably hearing this for the first time.
Dream's awesome. You should, probably for the past, 8 months, once a week, me and Dream will have, a 2-hour call. And he just helps me.
Like, Tommy, there's no way that you actually believe this. Saying I was so terrible to you, with no examples or anything? Like, if you don't think that my intention was to help you, then what was my intention? Why did I do all of that?
The Dream SMP, a lot of your success just wouldn't have happened without me.
That egotistical sentiment is exactly what you're accusing me of. I think that the Dream SMP would have not been what it was without any of the creators I want. Everyone, including you, made it what it was. And I said that on stream the other day.
I'm not just selling USB baby photos or lazily designed merchandise, alright? I'm doing the best with what I have.
Tommy, you say that like it's a slight on me, when my entire merch brand was built by my family, in my hometown. Like, the reason there was ever a USB flash drive sold that had pictures of me on it was because it was my mom's idea. And Tommy knows that.
With the package too.
A Dream hoodie, but with me on.
All the designers are local people working with my local family business. And this also let me make sure that all of my fans had a good merch experience.
That is really cool.
I didn't make the most money that way, but I'm happy that I did it. Tommy went with a merch company that actually had some really cool designs, with some very hardworking child laborers to make it possible. Unfortunately, that company also scammed a bunch of his viewers, and multiple of his creator friends got scammed and literally never got paid, and the company went bankrupt.
The biggest creators in the world are at the center of a scam, and I don't know if I should talk about it.
Some have been defrauded, others are associated, and most are plain embarrassed.
This is actually true and was investigated by CoffeeZilla. Unfortunately, after the false allegations that Tommy perpetuated, my family merch company did struggle. So, I'd like to support it, Dream.shop.
But the difference between me and you, I put effort, my absolute best, into all these new things. I'm going to talk about my brilliant podcast because I'm really proud of it. Or the book I spent months writing.
Tommy essentially belittles what I do, saying that what he does with his podcast and book are somehow more valuable or important than the videos that I make, which I think is just a little sad. I'm happy making videos with my friends. That's what I've always done. And I'm a coder. I code cool new Minecraft mods and make everything for my channels by myself. Like, I edit my own videos. I'm sure Tommy can knock out videos pretty quick because at one point he had a literal editor sweatshop where his editors made less than minimum wage, and we're also getting fans to edit the videos for free for them. But to each their own. Everyone has a different style of YouTube. I don't get the high and mighty. Like, it's not just in this video. Like, recently Tommy's been emboldened that he is the savior of YouTube or something.
So I was walking down the street and I thought to myself, oh man, this internet ain't so well.
But then Tommy says something I don't even know what. Just listen to this.
You harassed my mum as she was going through a divorce. The worst time of her life. You are like a proper movie villain.
Okay guys, I'm gonna reveal to you this harassment. The proper movie villain harassing of Tommy's mom that I did. Before I show you, just picture in your mind the harassment. Here it comes. This one message is the only contact that I have ever had with Tommy's mom.
You harassed my mum. Proper movie villain.
This message starts with, just thought I'd let you know that I don't agree with lots of people replying to you, and I don't want you to be attacked at all.
You harassed my mum.
And the context to this is that Tommy's mom was arguing with Dream fans on Twitter about Tommy making fun of my stutter in a video. Some of my fans were upset, and she was replying to them. I sent her this singular message on Twitter letting her know that I didn't agree with my fans that Tommy's portrayal of my stutter was ableist, but also letting her know that I didn't like the rest of the video because it was causing additional harassment for me that I was already getting because this was at the peak of the allegations. And Tommy, of course, didn't show any evidence for any of this stuff because it makes it look ridiculous if he did. Like, he literally says that I'm a cartoon villain for this DM.
You are like a proper movie villain.
Like, this is the Dream SMP Chapter 2, and I've escaped the prison. Like, the way he words that, you would think I spammed his mom's phone for weeks with slurs and threats. And Tommy keeps bringing up the fact that he was 16 and 17. I mean, I was 20 and 21. I didn't treat you like a kid. I treated you like you were my friend and a colleague. We had occasional disagreements, but that's because I did treat you like an equal. But you'd think, based on what you're saying, that you were 12 and that I was some evil overlord, not a content creator helping you out with advice.
Everything else about my channel, you can thank Dream for. Oh, Dream's such a good guy, man. I feel bad because in 2020 I gave him so much shit always. It was like my, you know, in the friend group, the guy that you make fun of a bit too much. That was Dream. I was just always taking the piss.
I mean, the truth is, you don't care enough that I used that word to make this video, especially because you know my own personal struggles. You realize that it's something that you can use against me to promote your channel and all of the things that you literally promoted for almost a minute at the end of your video. And I mean, you talk about how terrible of a person I am while leaving up videos with my sister and mom, and of course dozens with me, while lying and exaggerating about me, harassing your mom, and bringing up her divorce that I didn't even know about and have nothing to do with. But Tommy, I'm not going to suggest that you go to therapy like you did to me.
You need to get off the internet now. Go and get some therapy.
Because you feel strongly enough to make an entire dedicated video on your channel hating on me, you can go ahead and take down every video of yours that I'm in, and I'll take down every video of mine that you're in. Because if you have a backbone, you wouldn't want to show support for such a no good person. And Tommy, you mentioned being proud of yourself. I'm proud of you too. I'm proud of everything that you've accomplished. But you don't need to put other people down to lift yourself up. You are talented enough on your own. Happy New Year.
What if you can create your own...
This is another quote. You don't need to put others down to put yourself up. This whole situation, I don't really find that serious because everything that Tommy just said was disproven. Tommy had no evidence, Dream had tons. The video's probably an hour long, so why not just watch this last video?
In the face of all this conflict, uncertainty, terror, I know what the world needs right now. I know what I must do. Me. The masses yearn for a slightly above average white boy to do a parody news show. They thought he would stop at a podcast, but no. I must spread the truth to the world.
Live from Brighton Sunworks Studios, BN1384. This is the internet!
Why are you recording me? XL Bullies do nothing wrong. They don't do anything wrong. It's the owner. It's not the XL Bullies, okay? I told you to stop filming me! Stop filming me! Ah!
Hello everyone and welcome to This is the Internet, episode 2. Oh yes, episode 2. This is a series now. Well, no, not quite a series, but it's not a one-time thing. A mini-series. It's a situationship of a show. There's no strings attached, and we can have space too. Now it's been a busy few weeks, and I've only got 4 minutes to film this episode, so let's... Tractor right into this. Drake is suing Universal Music Group for defamation of character due to Kendrick Lamar's diss track. Drake originally tried to settle the beef by sending a message to Kendrick's mum, but that seemed to have little effect. The #1 chess player in the world, Magnus Carlsen, was disqualified from a tournament due to the fact he was wearing jeans. I mean, this show is meant to be unbiased, you know, but I'm going to say it, this is wrong. Magnus Carlsen, I stand with you. It's not wrong, it's fascist to be forced to wear a certain clothes. We must not stand back and stand down from evil. This upper class who's forced.
What is this? Okay, hold on. If we go back here,
He tried to settle the beef by sending a message to Kendrick's mum. But that's easy.
this isn't Drake or Kendrick. This isn't Drake replying to your mom, you fucking dumbass.
We must not that one. In devastating news, Keemstar, popular host of Drama Alert, age 42, has been found alive in his home in New York. Leaks came out this week that Mr. Beast refers to his penis as Little Beast. And this is the internet. We stand with Dream. I'm also going on tour very soon, guys. So
Wait. What? I get it. You guys say that he stands with Dream, so they're cool now, I guess? I don't get it. I just don't understand.
That Mr. Beast refers to his penis as Little Beast.
I don't fucking get
and his
it.
arsehole as the beast below. Now this week, Dream versus Tommy Innit was a huge drama that swept the internet, and I just want to say that here at This Is the Internet, we stand with Dream. I'm also going on tour very soon, guys, so check out Tommy
I don't
Innit.
get it. I don't like this. Right into the video, okay? Alright, so I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. That it was fun for you to watch. You can agree or disagree. You can hate on me. I don't care. This video was 2 hours long. I'm not going to do this long. I'm sorry, but it is, I guess. I just wanted to see, I guess, what was going on with all of this. Now, Dream and Tommy Innit and chill, and I think that all the obligations against Dream are just completely false. Not because I'm like a Dream stan, but I'm obsessed with Dream. It's just because he was ever doing everything wrong. That's obvious. That's really all. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. And Dream, if you're watching this, are you watching this? Get out. I'll watch my video now. Alright, cool, anyway. No, I'm kidding. I don't care who watches my videos or why you watch my videos. Okay. That was interesting. Bye guys, have a great day. Or wait, it's 4:58. Have a great midnight.